What is up, everybody? This is TPL Live. I got Dibes here with me. I got Austin at NBA Crow coming in as well. Today, we are going to be watching the Sixers versus Hawks game together. I'm excited just to see Joel Embiid again, to see what Tyrese Maxey brings to the table. I haven't seen yet, but Trae Young is available to play today now, so we'll see if he's going to come out on the floor. Dibes, what do you think you're most excited about coming into this game? Let me know.
I mean, come on. It's the Tyrese Maxey show. I'm still coming down from my Tyrese Maxey hangover last Saturday night. Tyrese Maxey shooting 47% from three over these last 5 games. He's only got 3 turnovers in those games. You look at Tyrese Maxey's turnover percentage, 7.2% turnover percentage for a guy that had a crazy 31% usage rate last Saturday night. You look at Tyrese Maxey in the pick and roll. What was so attractive about this guy at Kentucky, at his 1 year in Kentucky. As a ball handler, Tyrese Maxey is averaging 0.93 points per possession as a scorer in the pick and roll this season. In comparison, Ben is averaging 0.62 and 41% field goal percentage. The question has become, I know we're overreacting on a game that means absolutely nothing last Saturday night, but the question has evolved into, does Tyrese Maxey get some starts moving forward with his ability to just really facilitate the pick and roll? And you look at the shooting numbers that he's been turning up. The catch and shoot numbers, the shooting from the perimeter numbers are going up. I think you're going to start seeing his minutes incrementally increase as the season progresses. That's the biggest storyline right now.
Yeah, and I mean, with Tyrese Maxey, it's funny you say about the starting, and it honestly wouldn't surprise anybody at this point, I don't think, just based off the eye test, not even off the numbers. He undoubtedly, watching the games, you can see it has one of the best handles on the team. He's making good decisions when it comes to passing the ball, and he's also not making those rookie mistakes and being too aggressive towards the basket and keeping his head down. He's looking for the passes. He's doing what he needs to do, and I think once he keeps going, once he gets more comfortable in this offense as the season goes on, it wouldn't surprise me if you saw him coming and starting at all, to be honest. Something that I want to talk about going into this game against the Atlanta Hawks is, which, by the way, if you didn't know, the Atlanta Hawks are 4-5. The Sixers are 7-3 coming into this game. So
let's go, Sixers. Let's go.
Hopefully we can get that W. But I think something that's interesting to talk about is a guy in DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre Hunter, coming into this season from last season, was kind of seen as a guy who still needed some growth. Last season he didn't play. I mean, he didn't get a lot of minutes for them. This season he's shooting 42% from 3 right now.
Nice.
That's impressive. Now, he's going to be key, I think, for Atlanta playing against us, considering they have guys out. Like let me list this off for you, because their list isn't as long as the Sixers right now, but it's getting there. So they have 5 guys out today. Bogdanovich is out. Chris Dunn's out. Danilo Gallinari, Onyeka Okongwu's out, and Rajon Rondo. So 5 guys that are pretty key to their team, especially in the guard positions with Rajon Rondo and Chris Dunn. So that defense is going to be really interesting to me at that guard spot. And I think Tyrese Maxey has a good chance on eating today. What's up, Crow? How you doing?
Doing well, fellas.
How you feeling about this game?
The more I think about it, the more I feel like it's a very, 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 very difficult matchup for them. I just think there's a lot of mismatches across the board. Like Tyrese Maxey on Trae Young is definitely not favorable.
Don't doubt the kid, man. Do not doubt Tyrese Maxey, man.
No,
Don't you do that.
I'm gonna doubt him against an all-star. And also, I'm thinking, like, I don't know who guards DeAndre Hunter. I don't know who guards John Collins, who's a high flyer. I mean, I guess it's gonna be Mike Scott. Like, wait, great.
Speaking of Mike Scott, is he officially playing today?
He is officially playing, and Embiid is also playing as well. Steven asked. Also, guys, you can give us tips and donations. We do appreciate it. I haven't eaten in 4 weeks, so it would be nice.
Oh my God.
Dude, don't straight up lie and act like you don't eat Chick-fil-A every day.
Well, technically, it's not a lie. I don't eat Chick-fil-A every day. I eat it once a week.
Okay. Yeah,
My goodness.
I think for me, you talk about the offensive efficiency for Atlanta. That's where they are at their best. You look at the offensive efficiency; they are tied for 9th best with Portland. However, on the opposite end, that's where they have kind of like really struggled, especially over these last 4 games. They're like towards that bottom tier of defense. So if there's an area that the Sixers can expose, maybe actually slow this game down a little bit. I don't know what you guys think, but maybe don't let Trae Young just go absolutely crazy in transition and pushing the pace. Slow down the game a little bit, and let's see that Maxey Embiid pick and roll. And that's the bread and butter of what I'm watching tonight.
I think something that's also important to point out is the fact that Atlanta has nobody that can check Embiid. If Embiid's playing his game, they really don't.
Yeah.
Unless you want to sit here and say Clint Capella can check Embiid, but I don't. I can't agree with you if you say that one.
I agree with that, but who do the Sixers have that can credibly check for the 5 Hawks starters?
No, and listen, and you're not wrong about that at all. And I think that's something you have to look into, especially around the perimeter. The most interesting matchup I see coming into this game is Tyrese Maxey on Trae Young. I think it's an interesting test for Maxey, being that Maxey, although coming out of the draft, wasn't seen as this undersized guard as Trae Young was, but Maxey's only like 6 foot 6'1". So I'm going to be interested to see if he can keep up with Trae a little bit, being that he is pretty athletic for at the guard position. So I'm interested to see that, but I don't know. What do you think about that, Austin?
I just don't think it plays favorably at all. I mean, to be completely realistic, I just don't. It's a very, very, very difficult test. I mean, I thought against Jamal Murray, Maxey was getting bumped off his spot a lot, and Murray was able to get to the elbows and get those sweet spots and capitalize there. I thought that even like when they were playing Murray off ball, Maxey was overplaying and they were getting backdoors to the rim with like Jokic quarterbacking the offense high post. And I mean, he's going to get better with experience. But to sit here and for me to come out here and say like, oh yeah, I believe he can do it from the jump. If he does, great. He proves me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it's realistic to expect a rookie to come out here with literally no practice time and be able to just like master the art of guarding Trae Young, just based on film.
Can we talk about this comment? Because I think this is a really fun comment. Let's overreact. What's your boldest prediction about Tyrese Maxey? I got tagged in a tweet by Not a Critic, such a great follow at Not a Critic, and he compared Tyrese Maxey to Tony Parker. And I don't think I've ever heard that comparison for Tyrese Maxey. But you look at the way Tyrese Maxey can in and out of the pick and roll and just in a smooth way, just kind of get with the floater. Tony Parker had one of the best floaters of all time. I remember watching that and just being so just jealous of that guy playing for the Spurs. And you look at Tyrese Maxey and his ability to score in the pick and roll and that floater, and we all saw it Saturday night. Any interest on that comparison? Is that too bold? Tony Parker is one of the greatest of all time.
Can we sit here and say though that Tyrese Maxey, this may be more bold, but I think it's true. Tyrese Maxey more athletic than Tony Parker, right?
Tony Parker was never that athletic. He was just quick.
Yeah, that's okay. So I'm making sure that I'm thinking correctly here. But Tony Parker was like one of the most heady players, right? Like he was. I don't know. I can't speak much on Tony Parker. I'm gonna let you.
No, you nailed it. Like this was one of the craftiest players in the league by far. Just understood the pick and roll. But like the Spurs at that time were so advanced in terms of ball movement and pick and roll compared to everyone else. And that's what Tony Parker was, just massive IQ. You look at Tyrese Maxey. This guy is a gym rat. This guy's a dog. This guy was a coach's son. He lives in the gym. So it's not. This is a bold statement, and we have Marky 215 saying it's an interesting comparison. Didn't think of that one. And it's just something that I thought just like 30 minutes ago came to my timeline. I was like, that's a really fun one because Tony Parker for me was one of my most fun watches every single time. So anyway, yeah.
Well, this is an interesting question from Alex Smith because I know this has been a topic all around Twitter. So I figure you two would like to comment on this. What do you think about the league postponing some games and not others? Now, a lot of people have very strong opinions on this. Dibes, what do you think? What's your opinion on it?
It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic how the Sixers were taken advantage of. There was a tweet by Chris Hines saying the Sixers have been fined $25,000 for failing to list Ben Simmons on the team's injury report last Saturday night. And my response to that was the NBA should have been fined $50,000 for fucking the Sixers over and neglecting their overall health and putting their players in danger with only 7 players. Are you freaking kidding me? It's a joke. It's an absolute joke what the NBA is doing right now. The fact that the Heat game got postponed, it just speaks that they don't have a plan. And it really took until the Sixers game to like get their act together and figure out what they should do moving forward. And the Sixers were the victims of that. And it's just sad.
How about you, Carl? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think just taking a step back and like looking at it from like 1,000 feet away, my question would be, number one, why did the Sixers suit up Mike Scott on Saturday? Like, what was that out of fear that they'd be forced to like forfeit the game? Because if that's the case, then I understand it. But if the league wasn't putting that pressure on them, why would you even suit him up if you didn't intend on playing him at all? Because that's kind of what made you play, because you had that 8th guy available technically. But yeah, I would agree. It's inexcusable and nonsensical that those teams get their games canceled, and the Sixers do not. I know for a fact that the Sixers are pretty upset about that. But I also know that they. I'm trying to think of what I can and can't say.
Don't say it. Don't say it. It's not worth it.
I mean, well, something I want to touch on with what you're saying is like from what I saw on Twitter and just in general, like talking about the game, is that it seemed like they were pressured in a way that if he didn't play, then based on the standards that the NBA was kind of trying to set for the league in general, that they would have to forfeit the game because they wouldn't have that minimum 8 players. And before this, no games were postponed, and teams that had some players out were just forced to play. But we were the first team, it seemed like, that had like basically half our team out. So it's one of those things where it sucks because it's almost like we were made as an example, but then they changed the cards. Like we were made out to be the example of, okay, well, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make this strict. If you can play, you're gonna play, no matter what. But then right after the game, pretty much they decided, you know what, that wasn't okay. It wasn't good basketball. It's not what we want to see on the floor. Now we're gonna start postponing games. So it's unfortunate that it happened to us, in my opinion, than anybody else. But
they're still trying to get at us because of the process, right? Well,
I mean, diverse conscious said point blank they just don't like us.
It's so nauseating.
I agree. I mean, there's definitely some sort of something doesn't make sense there as to why those games get canceled, but the Sixers games don't.
Makes sense. And they didn't. There was no word about it for until what? I don't remember last Saturday night. I was drinking and watching Tyrese Maxey, but it was like an hour or two before the game. There was no word on this game, even though they had a long time to figure it out.
The media didn't even get out. We didn't even get our PR emails till an hour or two leading up to the game. So
that's pathetic. Yeah. That's like the entire NBA organization was at Denny's eating, having drinks or something. I don't know.
They were eating Chick-fil-A.
Well, that isn't the fault of the Sixers, though. The Sixers are going by what the NBA can give them at the moment. But I mean, it's very clearly that it was unplanned and unthought of in a lot of senses. But I do think that the Sixers, that they are doing some things to make life easier for the players.
Yeah. So, Diverse Conscious says they have a double standard. They move the goalpost on us. Stephen Green's coming in with we're going to win this game. I'm going to throw it back to one of our polls we did. Who's going to win the game tonight versus the Atlanta Hawks? 85 votes. 59% of that says yes. So despite the Sixers slim down on the roster tonight, they take the W. Majority is saying the Sixers take the W. But yeah, you saw, I like this comment by Marky215. Doc was like holding it back. I don't know what you think about that, Austin. What was that like?
He said it himself. Like he was like, yeah, I wouldn't have played this game. I was against this. I mean, there's that is what it is. But I also think that number one, you have to take into account that like these aren't elderly people. These are guys in their 20s and 30s who are in good shape and are in good health as far as we know. So I think that kind of I think you can't can inflate that with and hold that in the same relevance of someone in their 80s, and how COVID affects them. So I think the league takes that into account. I also think that the reason that they even came onto the court was you take obviously health and safety is a concern. That's why Embiid and Simmons weren't out. Seth wasn't there. Yada yada yada. But I also think that you look at okay, these guys are not available to us. This is off the table. We can't play them. They're under the protocol. So why should we play this game? Well, this is an opportunity for us to see what these young guys can do, what Tyrese Maxey can do in significant minutes, get him an experience that he probably will never have again his rookie year. And I'm not saying that justifies it, but that might be some of the logic as to why that game is played.
So I actually have a question for you. This is something me and Dibes were talking about before you came on. Do you think there's a chance Tyrese Maxey can get entered into the starting lineup at some point this year? Based on obviously, like you just said, you think an experience like that he may never have again this season. Do you think that there's a shot he does get that experience again this season?
Yeah. So I think you're already kind of seeing them do this thing by committee or late in the game, or whenever they'll move Ben off ball into the dunker spot. And then they'll put the ball in the hands of Seth Curry or Shake Milton. So I think down the line later in the year, if Maxey really continues to ball out, if he's not turning the ball over, which is huge, you want to be able to trust your ball handler. And if he's not trying to avoid contact when he finishes, if he doesn't look overwhelmed on the defensive side of the floor, I do think that there's a chance that maybe you move Ben to the 4, Tobias to the 3, Seth 2, Maxey 1, but that also takes Tobias out of his comfort spot. So I mean, I think that's also something you have to consider. I think right now you don't fix what's not broken, and you just let it be.
What's up? Yep.
So Marky215 says Mad Max should be starting tonight. Honestly, I mean, I don't know who else is going to be starting for him in his place. I mean, we're missing half our team. So Marky, you will be getting your wish. He will most likely be starting at the point guard tonight. This is an interesting question we could talk about. How will the Hawks scheme against Embiid?
Double teams all day.
They'll probably double. I mean, you have more of an incentive to double now that you don't have Seth Curry there or Tobias Harris. So your best bet's going to double. I mean, I think this game is winnable for the Sixers, but I think it's a chance where it's going to be a very high scoring game because there's no defensive matchup that I think favors the Sixers other than Embiid when you look at the starting 5. I just don't see it.
This goes into my player of the game. Should I say it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
My player of the game, I'm going to go with Danny Green. I think this is the game we need Danny Green to step up. He's only averaging 8.3 points, 2.4 assists per game. We need Danny Green to be that guy to hit corner threes and get buckets on the perimeter. I'm going to go out on a limb tonight and say Danny Green's my guy.
Okay, how about you, Austin?
I'm going to take a wild shot in the dark here, and I'm going to say that Joel Embiid probably is the player of the game.
Your podcast is literally named after Joel Embiid.
Because after all, you would think in a normal situation, you're probably going to run the ball a lot through your best player. Have that situation where you have 2 of your 3 best players are not available to play. Yeah, you're probably going to run the ball more through your best player and ride coattails of victory.
So the starting lineup is officially Tyrese Maxey, Dakota Mathias, and I just forgot who the small forward was, but Danny Green, Mike Scott, and Joel Embiid. So that's a winning starting 5 right there.
Something about Dakota Mathias they liked in that starting 5.
I mean, he's a 40% shooter. He's 40% in the catch and shoot, and that's pretty much everything they see in terms of spacing. The Sixers were just 7-1, and we were raving about how they have one of the best second units in the NBA, and now we're here. Like all
now
of a sudden,
we don't have a second unit.
I know. Like 3 or 4 days later, we're sitting here like 7-3, and we're like, "What happened? Freaking COVID!"
Well, yeah, you can't you can't toss that aside. And I agree, Benjamin. Their disrespect to Isaiah Joe, I would have 1,000,000% started Isaiah Joe over Dakota Mathias, but
dude, he shot 4 of 18. Yes,
yeah.
Saturday night.
I mean, you could say
but he did nothing in the second half.
You could say in the beginning of the game that Isaiah Joe was playing well, and then all of a sudden he just didn't hit a shot at all.
Someone compared him to like Kevin Durant. I forget who it was.
Oh my god!
And I was like, all right, it's a little premature to be comparing the guy to Kevin Durant.
When did they do that?
It was everywhere. It was what we did a scouting report on Isaiah Joe, and on our YouTube channel, it was like the next Kevin Durant. Like every single comment was Kevin Durant
because he can shoot a little bit further than some people, and he has long arms. Like what?
I think it was more like this.
Everyone thinks like long arms.
Yeah.
He can like elevate in space and like hit a 3. Like, okay, Kevin.
Listen, when you're 6'11",
7:30 tonight. Just wanted to let you know.
Okay.
Dives out on my ass last time about it, so I got to make sure that I that I tell you in advance.
Thank you for telling us in advance, Austin. As you should. What I was gonna say is Kevin Durant is like he's that once in like a lifetime he's 6'11". He's 6'11". He's like skin and bones, but he's strong at the same. Like he's an athletic freak. Like there's no comparison to that. If there's a guy who comes out of college that's that size and can shoot at that clip, then sure, maybe you can compare to him. But guys like Mario Shayok and guys like Isaiah Joe, don't come at me with this BS.
It takes you literally like 2 seconds to watch Isaiah Joe with the ball in his hands.
Oh my god!
You're like, that's not Kevin Durant. That's not even Kevin Durant's one of the best guys in terms of driving to the basket and getting buckets. Isaiah Joe can't do that. He can't do that.
You know what? It's a classic comparison. It's like it's just like Austin Krell, Zach Lowe.
I mean, yeah, I don't think that's too crazy. It's too crazy. Austin, what do you got going on with the feed to Embiid? And where can we find you? Paintlines.com. Let's go.
You can find me on OnlyFans. No, I'm kidding. You can't find me.
Oh, God.
Nobody wants to see that, Austin.
TMI. That's
you cannot find me on OnlyFans. You can find me at the Painted Lines. Really, I think my parents figured out recently that if you just Google my name, apparently things pop up. I don't want to do it douchey because for obvious reasons, but apparently
Google me.
Okay, Mike Missinelli down here.
Yeah, heard me? Google me.
No, that's Shaq. That is Shaq that says that shit.
Yeah. Well, you can find me at paintlines.com. I cover the Sixers every day on the beat. You can find me on the Feed to Embiid podcast. Talking about the Sixers with Brock Landis every day. Make sure to Venmo me anytime you want, any hour of the day. We're 24-hour business here. At Krell, just all over.
Austin does also Sixers recaps of every game at thepaintlines.com, and I post them on YouTube. You can check us out at the Painted Lines on Twitter or thepaintlines.com. Literally, like every game. I think you've done one every game, right, Austin?
I missed the New Year's Eve game when Ben hit the three because I was at a party.
Oh, you suck. You're fired.
Other than that, I am often up deep into the night writing content for you guys. Most of it sucks, but some of it is good.
No, man. No,
let's say that as well. It's if you go onto the YouTube community tab on our page, you can find all those links and everything. So make sure you go check out the community tab for that. That's what he means when he's saying he posts it. Also, with the
you can also donate to the Austin Krell Chick-fil-A Fund.
Don't donate to it. He has a problem, guys. Don't donate to that fund.
Popeyes is better.
Peach milkshakes, 2 number ones, no pickles on either. One meal run by itself with a Diet Coke. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. All right. Enough with the Chick-fil-A.
Two combo meals at Chick-fil-A would like put me out in like a deep slumber for 2 straight days.
Oh, believe me, I eat it and I'm like, all right, it's time to watch. It's time to turn on Parks and Recreation and.
Oh my lord. All right, what I was gonna say was of course, Austin puts out consistent NBA content for the Sixers every day after every game, but make sure you also go check out his partner in crime, Brock Landis, who he is on the Feed to Embiid with, because he also posts on the Painted Lines and on his own YouTube channel at Landis Brock. Or no, is it Brock Landis or is
Brock Landis?
Twitter's different?
Landis on YouTube. Brock Landis on YouTube. Landis Brock on Twitter.
That's what it is. And he posts film breakdowns of each game, so make sure you go check those out. They usually come out like a day after the game, so check those out. If you're not checking those out, you're missing some really great basketball content. Marky215 says, hey, Krell, do you think Ben has been fighting through that knee injury? Reasons why he's not as explosive going to the rim or dunking a lot this year? ? Austin says no.
I'll say this. I think he and his representation are relatively happy with the way that he's being used, like as the Carson Wentz of the offense, which...
Oh, my God. Don't say that name right now. That's just not a good idea.
They like that he's quarterbacking the offense, I think. I tend to think that he does. I mean, if you look at the stats, he does have slower starts to the season traditionally. So I mean, it'll be more of a problem for me down the line if it's like February, March, and he isn't explosive. But he usually has a slow start, finding his footing and figuring out where he fits in the offense as a scorer. As for the knee injury, I wouldn't worry about the knee injury.
I got a question. Can I ask Austin a question before he leaves? So you've seen Ben Simmons' usage rate be a little lower, like career low, like when the Sixers were really clicking on offense. Tobias Harris, the ball was feeding through Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, Seth Curry, but not Ben Simmons. Is Ben Simmons pissed off at that? Because that part of it, like, because he's not as involved as he has been in the past on offense. Because you know how prima donna Ben Simmons is. Like, Ben Simmons is all about his legacy and the numbers.
I can actually answer this question too.
Is that? Am I looking too much into that? What is your take?
It's a good question. I think I would guess Ben probably would like to see his all-around numbers go up, because right now he's not playing like an all-star right now. He's just not.
He's getting exposed in the pick and roll. He's getting exposed. 41% in the pick and roll as a scorer and 0.2 points per possession as a scorer in the pick and roll. That is bad.
Yeah. I would say he probably would like to see that go up a little bit, but I also think that he likes that the onus isn't all on him to be like this like number 2 scorer because now he has 3 to 4 teammates, no, more like 5 or 6 teammates, honestly, that he feels like he can trust to make shots on a possession to possession basis.
Okay.
And something he actually said in some interviews was that, yeah, his scoring's down. Excuse me, sorry. But he actually likes facilitating his teammates more. And he actually doesn't. He said he's not as somebody who cares about going out and scoring 40, 50 points a night. Like he cares about getting his teammates and scoring points, getting his teammates involved and scoring points in general. Now that could just be a facade, but I mean,
yeah,
he said it. So
the pick and roll is brand new to Ben Simmons, but what about Parks and Rec? What about The Office? I've actually never seen both shows. So embarrassing.
I finished The Office. I got tired of The Office.
Oh, really?
I mean, I watched it like 3 times over. So now Park and Rec is like my replacement show.
Okay.
And it's just tremendous. It is just it's very similar, very funny, very silly, my kind of comedy.
Cool. Yeah, I've never seen it. The general rule of thumb is if it's a great TV show, I've probably never seen it. So, that is my like TV take.
Only The Mandalorian.
Oh wow! I mean, if it's Star Wars, I'm getting ready to read a book on Star Wars, and do chapter reviews on it. That I'm like, you know me, I'm full Star Wars nerd, or comic book movies. So that's my thing. WandaVision, Star Wars.
Oh, I'm excited about that.
WandaVision.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll be doing chapter or episode reviews here at the Painted Lines every single week of WandaVision and written reviews. So that's coming. So
tell me about the videos, and I'll try to make sure I'm watching them so I can get on here with you. But Austin, you got to head out of here. All right, man. We'll see you. Enjoy the game.
Thanks, Austin.
Did I do a good job tonight?
You crushed it, bro.
All right, no more angry DMs.
You didn't like talk shit on the merch today.
Yeah. on the who?
On the merch.
What merch? Oh, the sweatshirt. Yeah. It turns out that it isn't actually fading. Rather, it's just the material is very
vintage. It's vintage.
Yeah. Now the one issue I can't lie, I actually do have is that either my arms got noticeably longer recently or it shrunk.
You definitely shrunk.
We'll go with the former.
Yeah, you definitely shrunk.
I've now gotten an advantage when I take you on one-on-one.
I have that plus wingspan now.
He's got the lucky fin, the Finding Nemo lucky fin that I'm just gonna take him left every time.
Exactly.
All right, Austin, get off our screen. Get off our screen, Austin. Jesus. Guys, if you don't know, that's Austin at NBA Crow. Go follow him on Twitter. He is our beat reporter for the Painted Lines on the Sixers. He gives you all Sixers talk. Great follow. Gives you all the information you need about the Sixers. So go follow him. Also, go check out the Feed to Embiid podcast. It is located on Apple Podcasts and also on our YouTube channel. So definitely subscribe, like all his videos. They're great. So let's get right into this game, though.
I just want to piggyback off of Brock Landis' videos, who's part of the Feed to Embiid. Just the best film breakdowns you'll ever see on the Sixers. If you have seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It really goes in depth in terms of watching a game and what we have learned from every game. So Brock just crushes those. Austin, Brock.
Stay solid, baby.
Stay solid, baby. That is the Feed to Embiid. Please go check them out. Please follow my man, NBA Krell, Austin, and Brock at Landis Brock. And go subscribe to his own personal YouTube account. Please, please, please. You know, we're trying to push him as well. So that is Brock Landis on YouTube.
So besides Tyrese Maxey and besides Joel Embiid, who do you think is going to have a better game today? Now, personally, I think it's probably going to be a guy like Danny Green, just because he's tend to have like some streaky nights it's like every other night with that guy that he's playing well. So I think he's going to have a bit better game today. What do you think?
My guy's Danny Green. We need Danny Green to step up tonight. The Atlanta Hawks, even though they're depleted have one of the best offenses in the NBA. They also have a struggling defense. This game is about points. The Sixers have to put up points today, and that means because you're going to see a lot of half-court sets with Joel Embiid, which means you're going to see a lot of double teaming Embiid down low. Danny Green's going to have to hit shots tonight, period. No more just not hitting shots. Danny Green has to be an integral part of the offense. The Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, that's an easy pick. For me, it is Danny Green, 8.4 or so points per game this season. Let's go Danny Green, baby.
Yeah, Diverse Conscious says Danny Green needs to play like Spurs Danny. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Diverse. I don't think Spurs Danny's coming back. Now, I wish Spurs Danny was coming back, but I mean, how old is Danny Green now? Like 32?
Yeah, he's not. I don't even know if we're going to see Raptors Danny Green. But
I mean, listen, if we saw Raptors Danny Green, now that's something that what was that? What was that, like a 45% from three Danny Green right there?
Yeah, that's just crushing. Great team defense, crushing the catch and shoot, which is exactly what we need him for. And he's played, to be fair, when the first unit has been healthy and playing together, he's been playing great defense. And you look at his offensive rating was really starting to improve. And, brand new supporting cast and all that. Like this guy towards that 6-game, 149 offensive rating, 127, 140, 118. Saturday sucked for Danny Green. It was not good. And who does it? You can just throw out every single stat that you saw on Saturday night. It means nothing. However, Danny Green was getting it going. He was getting it going offensively, even though the point totals weren't there. He was playing more efficiently, and that's what we're talking about.
And something you see with Danny Green that I don't think is talked about enough is he is a very heady basketball player, as in he usually isn't making bad decisions on the court. And I think that's something that's nice about having a guy like him playing alongside guys like Joel and Ben. And because he's not only a guy that is a good NBA player, but he also has been around a long time. Mm-hmm. And you don't see him being a guy that's out of position all that often. And that's something I think that's huge for the Sixers, especially when it comes to the spacing around guys like Ben and Joel, is you see even when Joel's going down to post up, you see Danny's always making sure he's in the right spot. So if Joel needs to, he can find him in that passing lane, or so he can get better spacing for his big man. So I think that's something that goes a little bit unnoticed for him as well.
Marky 215. So I write and podcast for another website called Movies Matrix. If you want to go see those videos on The Mandalorian, there's two really big moments of The Mandalorian. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you go there, we did reaction videos, and you can see me straight crying from those moments. Literally crying in the moment doing episode reviews. So moviesmatrix.com or the Movies Matrix YouTube channel. And I wrote episode reviews of every single episode of that show. And I also did a top 10 season 2 moments, which is here actually at thepaintlines.com. So if you wanted to see the top 10 moments, I wrote on that. But man, what a season. That last episode of The Mandalorian, man, all the feels.
Listen, we talked about that. We talked about that.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. I don't want to say any names. I don't want to spoil. No. I don't want to spoil, but that was a amazing episode. This is an interesting comment by Jamonte, I'm assuming. I won't be surprised if Maxey plays bad this game because the Hawks are going to lock him up, and he isn't used to this sort of pressure. Now, I would agree with you, but here's my thing with that. I don't think that the Hawks have anybody that can guard him. Now, yes, DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish and Cam. What's up?
They have athleticism and length.
Yeah, see, they do, but I haven't seen Tyrese be very affected by that so far this year. I mean, he's played against guys that are athletic and lengthy and on other teams, and I haven't seen him shy away. Now, of course, they have guys like DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish in this game that could possibly check him a little bit. But Trae Young, I don't think Trae Young can check him. Obviously, Trae Young's coming into his third year already? This is his third year?
I think so.
God damn, I'm getting old.
Trae
Young, even in his third year and Maxey being in his first year, I don't think Trae Young can check them. And speaking of Trae Young and Maxey. Both of them are on the court right now, and there's tip-off right now, and Atlanta wins the tip. Trae Young has the ball. Here we go. 0-0. It looks like right now, I'm trying to see who's matching up on people. Danny Green's matched up on Cam Reddish. You got Tyrese Maxey matched up on Trae Young. And okay, now we're back on offense, so I can't see everything now, but I don't want to spoil things too much. I'm ahead of people here.
I know,
but,
I'm a good 30 seconds behind.
Yeah.
I just saw the tip off.
Here's a good start.
Trae Young.
So GBN Bagel says Isaiah Joe is the guy he thinks has. I'm assuming from what we were talking about earlier, is the guy that he believes is going to have a bigger game tonight than he did before. I think that could be interesting. I mean, being that he's going to be coming off the bench for us today, I think it's going to be interesting to see how he takes in that role. Being that when obviously half our team is playing, he hasn't been getting any minutes besides like garbage minutes. So it'll be interesting to see how he can play in that coming off the bench role, being that is probably going to be his role on this team for a few years if he's on this team for a few years. What do you think about that?
I'm watching Maxey versus Trae Young defensively. That's what
I agree.
The defense for Tyrese Maxey hasn't exactly translated. There's been a lot of flashes. It's shortened off season, shortened training camp. Who can blame him? He is like rose to the occasion again and again. But I'm still waiting for that. He did have that like one steal and like Allen Iverson-esque play. But I'm mostly watching right now Tyrese Maxey on defense versus Trae Young. And right now he's 0 for 1, by the way.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and be like I wasn't listening as much as I should have right there because I'm watching basketball. But something that really like irks me about the Atlanta Hawks is Trae Young specifically. Like Trae Young annoys me because he reminds me of like that Kyle Lowry, like I'm a flop every single time I run into the basket. Like or not flop, but like over exaggerate. And I get it. It's his game. He's smaller. It's what makes him. It's part of what makes him good is that he's able to manipulate the game in that way. Mm-hmm. But like that's something that like really, really annoys me watching Trae Young play basketball. Yeah. Is like the amount of like I see when he plays. I'm like, just play basketball.
Yeah, I hear you. Kyle Lowry is a great example of that. That guy just gets under my he's like the dirt in your nails. Like he's just so annoying.
Yeah, I have a question for you. So Maxey seems to in bigger minutes be able to be like a pretty good rebounder for his size, and that's something that you see a guard.
Matthias needs to hit that. That was a nice pass by Embiid.
Yeah, it was. But like you see in Tyrese that he's a pretty good rebounder for his size. Now, do you think that's something that was just kind of what's the word? That's not the right word. I can't think of what I'm trying to say. But do you think that was something that's going to be consistent where if he's playing bigger minutes that he'll be able to get those like 6-7 rebounds a game? Or do you think that's something that was just an outlier because of the fact that he had so many minutes?
I don't think there's enough sample size to say yes or no right now. I don't remember him being a terrific rebounder at Kentucky. That was by far not. Tyrese Maxey for 3 misses it back rim. That was not something that was really kind of on the radar when he came into the NBA or looking for in the NBA. But you're talking about a guy that has tremendous basketball IQ. He comes from his father was a basketball coach. He's a gym rat. But it's by far like one of the biggest takeaways. The top 2 takeaways of Maxey, like not talking about like basketball skill, is between the ears. Like this guy is fearless. He understands the game. He understands spacing, and I think he understands where he needs to be. And that's just incredibly impressive when you're talking about a kid that just turned 20 years old. And he's just flows within the offense. we haven't seen that in a long, long time from a Sixers player, that level of IQ. Like you normally draft guys like Zaire Smith or like the exact opposite, guys that have tremendous athletic ability but don't have it between the ears. And that's what stands out about Tyrese Maxey, like Mariel Shea. That's what stands out about Tyrese Maxey is that he's got both. Like this is a guy that really, truly understands how to get to his spot, what his role is, and shows a fearlessness about going downhill and getting buckets. And when's the last time you had a Sixers kid that is not afraid, has that alpha mentality to really get his shot? We haven't in a long time.
To be honest with you, the last time I remember seeing that was when Shake first got his chance coming, like once Ben and everybody went down at the end of the season. That was the first time I really noticed that. Is like he really like went out there and like was playing hard. But I don't think you can compare it anywhere close to what Tyrese has been doing. And I did want to mention something that I noticed a lot about Tyrese is not only is he making the right plays, he's making plays that like I'm not seeing. And not that I'm like some insane basketball mind, but something that I notice is that he's making passes that I'm like, oh, I did not expect that ball to go in there, and I did not expect that guy to be open. Like in the first few games where he was hitting Mike Scott in the far corner, like, and he was wide open, and I'm like, oh, okay, so this guy can play point guard. Because that was another question we had coming into the year.
Totally.
We consistently talked about is Tyrese Maxey able to play that point guard spot? Because when he was with Kentucky, he played in a lot of 3-guard lineups where he wasn't the guy who was necessarily on ball a lot.
Yeah.
And so coming out of the draft, we really didn't know. We were like, is he going to be a guy who is going to be able to run that 2-guard next to Shake, next to Ben Simmons, maybe in the starting lineup at some point, or is he going to be a guy that can run the 1? And we've seen throughout the year so far that they obviously see him as more of a 1 than a 2, and it seems almost like Shake Milton is being moved over to that 2 spot just because Tyrese Maxey's skill.
Well, it's because Shake Milton is a great catch and shoot player. Shake Milton's a guy that through FMU 4 years with the Delaware Bluecoats, with the Sixers, has shot 45 to 50% in the catch and shoot from 3. I think the storyline here, like the little subplot that's going down right now, is what you want to see is growth from a Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid pick and roll. Because hypothetically, if the James Harden trade doesn't happen and you're dealing with what you have when the playoffs start, I think they're going to add like a forward and all that. They're going to add spacing at the trade deadline. What you're talking about is what you need is a guy that can get buckets scoring in the pick and roll. And that's what Tyrese Maxey can do. And on the opposite end, when you're playing against teams like the Celtics, like the Raptors, and like the Bucks, you have to be able to defend the pick and roll. That is what Tyrese Maxey can bring. The Sixers haven't been able to stop a pick and roll in years. And that added defensive intensity, Shake's not there yet, although I've been very impressed with his defensive flashes this season. Shake's just not there. And these are two different players altogether when it comes to instincts on defense. And I think that when we talk about potentially Tyrese Maxey in the starting lineup, that's one of the biggest reasons. And like I said, 47% from 3 of the last 5 games. If Tyrese Maxey can give you what he brings as a pick and roll scorer and be that level of perimeter threat and be that kind of defensive presence in the pick and roll, he's going to start, man.
Yeah, no, and I agree. This is an interesting comment from Marquise. He says, Tyrese Maxey showing Rajon Rondo is a great leader, and he taught him a lot about the NBA point guard position. And, I mean, you see that. Like, he's making good plays. His passing, to me, has gotten better since college. Which, I mean, that was obviously – he wasn't an extreme, like, passer coming out of college. And not that he is now, but you definitely see improvement when it comes to finding guys around the perimeter. Something that he would do a lot in college What he was he would miss guys around the perimeter. He was very focused when he was in the pick and roll on that on getting into the center, which makes sense because that's the point of a pick and roll. But good point guards in the NBA basically have eyes in the back of their head where they're like, okay, if I feel this defender next to me, I know that guy's open over there. So it's like it's nice that you're starting to see a little bit of that from him. So it's nice to see that shining moment. So it's you never know. Maybe that is from Rajon. Maybe that's just from growth from himself. But so I wanted to highlight here. Hello from Vienna, Austria.
What up, Austria? Let's go.
What's up? How you doing? Hope you're enjoying the watch party. By the way, I think it's a good time to say it. If you have not already, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We do these pretty much for every game. If you guys want to keep seeing these, subscribe and we'll keep doing them. Subscribe, like the video, comment, and it'll let us know how you're feeling about it. After the game, by the way, we do a post game of the game and we post that up separately. So please go show that some love. Go watch that. Go like it. That really helps us out. We're trying to get some sponsorships for this stuff, so we can start having fun with you guys. Maybe get you guys some more giveaways and stuff like that with those sponsorships. So we'd really appreciate it.
Quick piggyback off of pick and roll defense. Tyrese Maxey's points per defending the pick and roll was absolutely crazy during his 1 year at Kentucky, and you nailed it. What's been so impressive about Tyrese Maxey is the little things, finding the open man. Being efficient on offense. You rarely do you see a guy that's so relentless attacking the paint and reckless, almost borderline reckless, but be so efficient on offense as a rookie. So his ability to just find the open man and his instincts, knowing where everyone is on offense as a 20-year-old who just turned 20, like, come on, man. Like that is just incredibly and especially what's the biggest thing the Sixers lack is a shot creator. Like Tyrese Maxey has a little bit of shot creator in him, just like Shake Milton does. And I'm going to continue to bother Tiago, who's joining our post-game show tonight, about like that is the storyline. If they don't add James Harden, that is the storyline for the Sixers moving forward. You know, who is the shot creator? Who is the 5 minutes left clutch guy to run the offense through? We've seen it through Shake. Could Tyrese Maxey eventually evolve into a potential option on offense? So, especially with the ball in his hands in the pick and roll. So it's definitely not Ben.
Something that I will say, and this might be a little bit of a hot take, I don't think it is, but I actually think Tyrese Maxey can be better than Shake when it comes to creating. Like I don't think that's surprising. I don't think it's unlikely. Like he is good with the ball in his hands. He has a tight handle and he has that vertical. And that I mean, one thing that I know Jason, Jay Blevins, if you don't know what we're talking about, he is another beat reporter for the Sixers for us. And he's great. If you haven't already, check him out on Twitter. But something he consistently has said about Shake is that the only thing he really lacks, because he's got that size, he's got the shot making ability, is that explosiveness and that quick step or the stop and elevate. That's something that he doesn't have as much as I think Maxey has. Maxey has that quickness. He's got that explosiveness. He can stop on a dime and jump over you basically when he's shooting the ball. So I think that's something that's interesting, and if he can like even more so, what's the word? Man, grow that part of his game or be more precise with shooting from that range and from that part of shooting. I can't think of what I'm trying to say, but if he can grow that part of his game, I think that's really important. I think that can show a lot of growth for him. But yeah, so let's get into some comments here. We got a lot of stuff happening, so let's get to this.
If Tyrese Maxey can still continue to improve in the catch and shoot, like this guy's going to get a lot of minutes. I'm telling you right now, he's going to get a lot of minutes, and that is only going to show that he can play with Ben, and that's what you need to be able to do is hit open shots. And to be honest, like Danny Green hasn't exactly been doing it, although his defense has been strong. I've just been so impressed.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, yeah, like Danny Green hasn't been showing it, and his defense has been strong. But like one thing we have constantly said about this team is that this team is gonna live and die by having good perimeter shooting around your stars. And if Tyrese can shoot well, then he's gonna play, and that's just how it's gonna be. But let's move on to some comments. What Joel and Dwight? Damn, how? Oh, okay. Now I see what you're saying. Joel and Dwight on the floor at the same time. That's how injured we are. I would not say like where was that at? Just like Steven said, COVID not too hurt. It's just COVID stuff basically, which is not wrong at all.
It's essentially going back in time to last year without Horford and Joel Embiid.
Yep. Dunder Dude says Joel another foul drawn, and that's honestly what you need to see from him this game. You need to see him getting easy buckets at the free throw line. You need to see that if we're gonna win this game. Mad Max is a bucket getter. Now, I don't know if we can exactly call him a bucket getter yet, but if he can be a bucket getter, that's going to be big for this team.
I think the tools are there. I
agree.
There.
Oh my goodness, look at this. Twin Towers in effect, a la Samson and Elijah. My Lord.
Oh God.
I mean, listen, you never know. Years down. Sorry, go ahead.
It's a recipe for disaster.
Listen, you never know though. Years down the line, you could see Dwight Howard and Joel Embiid going into the Hall of Fame someday.
Oh,
you never
for sure, 100%. But you don't win basketball playing like that.
Oh no, not in this league.
There's no spacing. It's all about spacing. It's all about who you can defend and spacing. That's pretty much it.
I agree. Maxi's biggest strength is the fact that he fears nothing and shows some naivety. Is that how you say that? I know it says naive. That makes him unpredictable. I think that's true. I don't necessarily think that makes him unpredictable. I think it just makes him it depends. Do you think this guy's saying unpredictable as in unpredictable how he's playing or unpredictable on what his future could be?
I think how he's playing. I mean, it's true. Like, there's probably not a lot of tape on Tyrese Maxey on how to defend him.
Yeah.
But that's to his credit. That's to his credit, showcasing his ability in a situation where, like, no rookie has any right to be as good as he is right now on the court. Like, all teams are trying to kind of figure it out on the fly. Is that Isaiah Joe?
Yep.
Boom. Let's go, Isaiah Joe. But in terms of, I don't know if I would call it like being just sporadic and unpredictable on offense. Like, he definitely plays in control.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would agree with that, but I definitely agree with, the fearlessness, the relentless attacking into the paint and getting buckets. That is his game.
Interesting comment right here. We got Mad Max read Mad magazines and more madder than the Mad Hatter. I mean, I think that needs to be quoted and tweeted.
Are you old enough to know what Mad Magazine is?
Mad Magazine? Hell no, but I know what the Mad Hatter. I know what the Mad Hatter is.
Mad Magazine, man. I don't know if you were watching. What was that, like, Spy versus Spy comic in Mad Magazine? If you guys remember, it was like a black spy versus a white spy. It was a cartoon. And
Are you talking about comics right now?
Sort of.
Okay.
It was like a comic in a magazine, and it was Spy versus Spy, and it was like one spy trying to one up the other spy. And it was a comic strip. It was terrific. If you guys remember Spy versus Spy, you get 10,000 TPL points, and that goes for a lot because they don't mean nothing.
They're priceless. They're priceless points. Oh my goodness. Marky215 says, right at Trey, let's go Mad Max. One thing I want to say is going right at Trey Young, I don't think is much. I don't think that's saying much. Trey Young is like 6 foot tall, like probably weighs like 130. He is probably like, if he's like, isn't he like, if he's not the worst rated defender in the NBA, he's pretty down there. Like, wasn't he that last year?
Yeah, Trey Young is do nothing on defense.
Yeah.
Anyway, what makes me diverse conscience remembers the Spy versus Spy. So good, just underrated cartoon, super underrated.
My goodness. Let's go.
Yeah, Paul Reed siding. Let's go, Paul.
Paul from DePaul time. I wonder if Paul Reed I wonder if any of his decision with going to college had anything to do with the fact that it was DePaul. Like, imagine he's picking colleges and he says, you know what? Like, I can like play in this game. I can be in the game, and they can say, like, here, like, come like in the starting lineup at power forward, Paul Reed. Like they just that's his nickname.
That's
Oh my
so
goodness, ridiculous. Sorry guys, if you want to come like watch stupid humor, like and subscribe, because that's basically me and Dibs right there.
That's pretty much it. I'm full of stupid humor.
I make dad jokes and I'm 21, so like that's pretty bad.
That is pretty bad.
Dude, my girlfriend consistently says that I like make jokes like a 40-year-old. It's bad. And I have a 40-year-old. I apparently have a dad case. I don't know if you can agree with that on my phone. Would you call it a dad phone case?
Does it smell like rich mahogany?
No, it smells like leather, like fake leather. Fake leather. That's what it smells like. Look, how's everybody doing? We got 31 people in here. Hope everyone's having a good night. I mean, hope everyone's enjoying the game. Paul Reed going up, and that was not what we needed there. Not what we needed.
Sixers are playing well right now. I mean, you're talking about two turnovers right now by the Sixers.
Who has those turnovers too? Because I know Joel. Actually, either Danny or Joel has one of them.
1-1.
The amount of flopping, like people literally. Okay, in the NBA now, when you're driving to the basket, all you have to do is literally run at the basket, act like you're trying to score, and just throw the ball over your head. Just throw the ball. That's all you got to do to get to the free throw line now. At least when Joel gets fouled, he's like actually shooting it, or he's like somewhat shooting it. Like these guys are literally just throwing the ball. Just wow. Like it just drives me nuts. Ugh. Drives me nuts. And like the Hawks do it so much. Ugh.
Yeah, we just got called senior citizens.
Well, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I count as a senior citizen, but I mean, if you wanna, oh yes. I thought it was bad for a second. It was good though. Tyrese Maxey is the GOAT, and Solomon Hill can go suck a fatty off that one. He actually almost sucked Tyrese's fatty right there. If you watch the replay, you'll see that right there. It was pretty nice.
I don't think we're doing party on Broad tomorrow night. I think we're just going to do a watch party. Oh, look at that drive by Maxey. Let's go. Let's go, man.
Tyrese Maxey triple double alert.
Are you serious?
Nah, he's 6'3" and 3.
By the way, one of the funniest things last Saturday night was like when all that crap was going on in the first half and Tyrese Maxey was just balling out. I was like,
Yo, Dwight Howard, man. I love how he like his energy on the court. I'm sorry I interrupted, but I love Dwight Howard's energy on the court. It's second to none.
I got called out by my man Vin because I put out a tweet saying, when was the last time a Sixers rookie scored 40 points in a game? And my trivia question for you guys is, how many 40-point plus games did Allen Iverson have back to back? Let us know in the comment section.
Oh, as a rookie?
Yep.
3?
Let us know in the comments. I'm not going to answer it, but if you guys get it right, I'll holler.
God damn, guys, come on. There we go.
This game's going pretty much as we talked about during the pregame.
I actually am surprised at this game. I thought it was gonna be a little bit like a little bit further. Like I thought we were gonna be down by a little bit more in the first. That made me sad.
That was not good. We got the ball back though. Oh my gosh, Dwight almost threw it out.
If you guys are watching the game like actually live and wondering why Dibes is still talking about the game when the first quarter's already over, it's okay. You're okay. Dibes is the one that's not okay. It's okay.
Coyle got it right. Iverson had a stretch of 5 straight 40-plus or more points his rookie year. Just crazy. Do you know who? Next trivia question. But non-Allen Iverson rookie stats. Who was the most recent Sixers rookie to score 30 or more points? If you guys know, let us know in the comments.
I think I know that, but I'm not going to say it.
I definitely said it during the postgame show.
You probably did. And I feel like it's a very notable person.
It very much is.
Yeah.
He's a Sixers legend.
Yeah. Can you put your ARAM? I know. Yeah, there you go, Aaron. You want to watch the game? There you go. There it is. Listen, buddy, you're not going to be able to see it that well. It's in a mirror and it's super bright, so it's not going to matter. You want to see some commercials right now? There you go. You want to see some Service Electric cable commercials? There you go. You got it right there.
Not Jerry Stackhouse.
But I will say, where was he? ARAM, this is not the stream. If you're trying to watch the game, it's not. Sorry. But we will sit here and have fun with you and talk some good basketball. And if you want, Chris, stop. If you want, you could subscribe, and we would really appreciate it.
It is not Shake Milton, or wait, no, Shake did have. No, he wasn't a rookie though. He wasn't a rookie. It is not Shake, and it was not MCW. It was not freaking.
I'm surprised nobody's guessed it yet. Guys, I think you're overthinking this a little bit. It's exactly who you guys probably think it is. Like, you're overthinking it.
As a rookie. Joel Embiid did not score over 30, I think, in his rookie year.
Yo, ARAM said, I'm already subscribed, man. Well, then you already know how we do things here. We don't show the game. Come on, man.
Right. All right. We have Andrew Toney. That is our closest guess. That is our closest guess. Great
guys,
guess.
If you don't actually guess this, I'm going to be a little upset because I haven't seen the name one time. And I'm surprised. Like, it's pretty obvious. Come on. Who is one of the best scorers that the Sixers have ever had on this team?
Yeah, we're going back. We're going back, guys. He was the Bulldog, if that is a little hint. But just terrific. Yeah, Iverson, we're saying non-Iverson rookie stats because Iverson just broke everything.
Yeah, he did.
God, I remember that like yesterday, man. Man, I remember it like yesterday.
Yeah? Because you're old? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yep.
Dude, Danny Green was really trying to draw. Oh, no, there was no time on the clock. Never mind.
I haven't seen a single person get it right. Unbelievable.
Isaiah Joe's playing pretty decent defense, I'm noticing. So actually, this is interesting to talk about. And someone came out and said that the Atlanta Hawks, like that the John Collins and Trae Young disagreement was blown out of proportion, which obviously the media usually does that. But do you think there's any validity to Trae Young and John Collins having a bit of a disagreement on where the offense should be run through?
I don't watch Atlanta Hawks basketball, so I'm not one to talk about anything regarding that. But that's just crazy. The offense, everything goes through Trae Young. I don't understand where that's coming from, and I'm not going to pretend to be one that understands where that's coming from.
Hold on. It looks like Joel Embiid is heading back to the locker room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I obviously my sound's not on, so I'm not sure, but it looked like it possibly, and we haven't seen him in the game for the beginning of the second. Now, it could be literally him just going back for a little bit just to relax, but that last time that happened, Steph Curry had COVID, so
All right, we have a lot of people saying Charles Barkley, a lot of people saying Dr. J, my man Coyle saying TJ McConnell, Steven saying Doug Collins. The answer of the question is Hal Greer. We're going back to 1958. Hal Greer, the Bulldog, was the first rookie to have
oh my God,
points by the Sixers. So Hal Greer, beast.
Kevin Durant almost just hit a shot.
If you haven't seen Hal Greer play, like, I truly recommend you go watch how good that guy was.
Kevin Durant almost hit a shot just now.
Kevin Durant, Jesus, he doesn't have the footwork. Did he? Oh, I was on the play before, and it was like this crazy step back.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, so he does another step back.
No, I think we're talking about the same thing. You know what? Like at the end of the shot clock,
He missed the one I just saw.
yeah, no, he missed it. I'm saying he almost hit it.
Oh, okay.
I said Kevin Durant almost hit a shot. Ooh, good defense from Tyrese Maxey right there. You love that. You gotta love that. Oh, wait, so Joel's back on the bench. I'm not sure what's happening, but he's walking around. Maybe he's probably fine, honestly. Oh, he's eating a lozenge. That's interesting. So I'm giving you guys the play-by-play of what Joel Embiid's doing on the bench right now. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Or you can just see it. Sneak peek. Sneak peek.
God, my player of the game is going great.
Oh.
11 minutes, 0 points. No field goals.
Oh.
Man,
Look at this comment. Look at this comment. Guys, JoJo is a notorious in-game pooper.
he's got that like gastroenteritis.
Yo, it's probably because he was eating like 2 fucking Chick-fil-A sandwiches before every game. God damn, man. That's funny. Steven, you got me. You made me laugh. Good job. Tyrese Maxey with another rebound. You gotta love it. And JoJo's back in the game. So he took his gamely shit and he is back out there.
Sometimes you gotta poop.
Danny Green, man. Come on. We should change his name. I don't think he should be allowed to have Green as his last name.
Danny Brown.
Maybe something like that. Or Danny Whites, because he constantly whites the ball. Or like if we're talking NBA 2K terms, constantly whites, and you know whites rarely go in 2K.
Yeah, I don't even want to know what Danny Green's stats look like when it comes to missing wide open 3-point shots.
And that's what sucks is like we're producing so much more open looks this year than we ever have. And like if Shake and Steph are not in the court, they're just not going in.
Yeah.
Sixers going into the timeout are down 38-34. Not good. Not good.
They've really struggled these last, several minutes here. This is not great.
Oh, I like this one. Danny front rim.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Danny Green aces. I don't even know who. Oh, damn it! What's this? I don't even know what this is. Danny Green's playing like Danny Fortson. Who was that?
Danny Fortson, man. He was. Where did that come? Cincinnati. He was a guy that had like a few years in the league that was like truly impressive, but I mean, he clearly doesn't have it with the Sixers right now. So he had his time, but his days are over. So.
Yeah, it sucks though, because he's like, imagine we were able to sign him 2 years ago.
I mean, that's probably what they're. I mean, let's be honest. Like, what did you trade him for? The fact that you got anything for that is pretty okay.
No, I mean, you're not wrong, and I think that's ultimately like the thing you got to think about with that trade is like you got off a terrible contract in Al Horford, and mind you, I have said this before. I said this before the season, and I'll say it again. Al Horford himself is not terrible. I think that we've said it a lot. He's a good basketball player. He's just not what the Sixers need in a basketball player. I actually think part of the reason that he was signed for as much money as he was is the Sixers being worried about Embiid staying healthy, not just like they wanted him to play starting power forward. I think it was more or less like they were like, listen, you're probably going to start half the season if you come here because we need Joel to stay healthy. But like, that's just not realistic. So
I'm not jumping the gun on Danny Green. I'm not, because his defense was really, really good when the starting lineup was intact. There it is. Rookies since 1982. That's awesome.
Aram says, why are you roasting your own player?
I mean, we keep it real, man. Keep it real.
We do be keeping it real.
We're not going to give you bullshit. This is I'll always call it out as it is.
Yep.
But what was I talking about?
Danny Green.
Yeah. Like Danny Green come playoff time is exactly what you need. And you got to hope that the shooting will come around. But his numbers with the starting lineup defensive-wise are really strong. And he was getting better when the Sixers were like playing really well. He was a big proponent of that.
Chris, Mark says to fire you guys up. Is Maxi?
Oh God,
Maxis?
Talk about Eagles right now.
Mark brought it up, and it wasn't me.
I mean, we're not Spike Eskin, so if you want that kind of content, go watch the Rights to Ricky Sanchez, because that's exactly
that was a call out right there.
I love Spike, but that's exactly what that is. That was probably something Spike would say right there.
Yeah, if you want like basically things that just to produce a reactionary response to reactionary Philly fans, then we'll talk about that. But that's not us. Aram says, to be honest, I hate Danny Green too, but I think he's decent at basketball. Neither of us hate Danny Green. We just wish he was a little bit more consistent from outside. He's a good defender. He's been consistent in that right, but he's just not a consistent enough shooter when you're standing next to guys like Ben and Joel, who both are not plus shooters in the league, obviously. Mm-hmm. And that's just a fact. And that's just what you wish he was better at. But realistically, and this is what Dives was kind of saying about it, it's better having him on your team than having Al Horford on your team right now. When you have a guy that fills Al Horford's position in Dwight Howard, that like makes more sense, not only money-wise, but play-wise.
Danny Green shot 36.9% in the catch and shoot from three last year, 29% this year. That's all you need to know. Yeah.
Ms. Black says, do you think we're gonna be able to hold off their run in the third quarter? What do you think?
That is the question. Will the Sixers have legs to keep up with this Atlanta Hawks offense? We're seeing it right now. The Sixers got off to a strong start offensively and have really kind of off.
Sorry. There was just some good ball movement, and Dakota is, as you say, wet.
Nice. Sixers are. Wait, I'm not even going to say this because the box score and my TV are not even in sync.
Okay, I'll say it then. The score right now is 38 Atlanta, 37 Sixers. What the fuck was that?
And that's
okay, I think I see what happened.
shoot.
Joel was sitting in the post just now, and a double team ran at him, and he jumped up in the air and went to pass it to Dakota Mathias. And Dakota was at the hash mark and then moved. And Dakota said my bad to him right after it happened because he threw it out of bounds.
Oh my God, Joel, what are you doing, man?
No, it was Dakota. Watch Dakota right there. It was Dakota.
I just
Dakota,
saw it.
Yeah, Dakota moved when he should have stayed in the same spot. Oh, come on, get something going, guys. You need something going. Come on, Danny, hit it. God damn it, Danny. God, it's
another one. Did you miss another one?
Yeah.
Wow, that's terrible.
Dude, I'm so frustrated with him too because it's literally just ridiculous, man.
Mark,
he's getting wide open.
Tobias, Ben, Shake. Who am I missing?
Everybody, basically everybody, the whole team that was playing last game is playing plus Joel and Mike. Everybody else is out. Just think the game against the Nuggets plus Joel and Mike Scott.
This is like one of those situations. I wish we had a young forward to develop, like a young stretch four instead of Mike Scott. I would as the G League draft guy fan that I am, I would have loved to see some sort of young stretch four grow.
Paul Reed
right next to Embiid in that stretch four spot.
Yeah,
that would have been really fun. But
I think that's part of the reason why people are like, why not? It'd be interesting to see them trade for a guy like Lauri Markkanen, and that's been a conversation.
Woo! Nice block there.
That's been a conversation. On Sixers Twitter, I know for sure that trading, if you wanted to trade Tobias Harris, and I don't think people are as eager to do that right now as they were right in the beginning of the season. But when people were talking about trading Tobias Harris, they were saying, okay, let's trade for Lauri Markkanen, and all you have to give up is Tobias Harris and maybe a Mike Scott to grab him, and you'd have to end up getting Otto Porter and Lauri Markkanen probably.
I'm not trading Tobias Harris.
No, I agree at this point, but I'm just saying.
You asked me that 3 weeks ago. That's a totally different conversation. But we're seeing the strengths of Doc Rivers and Tobias Harris right now, and he's shooting the lights out. He's actually has a role in offense, and he looks confident and comfortable in offense for the first time since we've seen him wear a Sixers uniform. So that Lauri Markkanen thing would be really fun. I get it. I get the concept of getting out of that Tobias Harris contract because it's horrendous. But if he can be that 20 points a game, 40+% from three guy, and by the way, he's playing top 3 defense. I mean, I don't know. The market dictates value. I'm okay with that. I'm truly okay with that.
Dude, Trae Young just literally ran into Mike Scott. He just ran right into him, and then just, ugh. Trae Young is literally the saying if he was on your team you love him, if he's off your team you hate him.
Yeah,
that's what he is.
Yeah. Dunder Dude says Sixers don't deserve these 3 straight losses because COVID brought it upon us. It's crazy, right? It's the Sixers were 7-1, playing great basketball. The spacing, the second unit the ball handling, the efficiency was through the roof. Probably better basketball than I've ever seen in my lifetime as a Sixers fan. And now we're here. And who the hell knows what the NBA is going to look like a week from now, 2 weeks from now? Could there be a break or a stoppage? Just crazy, man. This is just kind of how we're probably just going to have to go with the flow this season. It is terrible. There, Dakota Mathias with another bucket.
Something that's been a conversation on Twitter, like whatever, is do you think that the NBA should postpone play for a little bit? What is your opinion on that?
Yes.
Think so?
Yes. I mean, you look at how the NBA just completely neglected the health of the Sixers during that game last Saturday. Like they don't have a grip on what's going on right now. Like they don't understand the true gravity of what's happening. The bubble worked, and I don't understand why they didn't just go back to that. The bubble worked. You see the G League doing it. Why doesn't the NBA do it? And it makes no sense to me. And I definitely expect eventually some sort of stoppage in play, and they should, because this is bogus. The fact that you're like playing 7 guys, like that's not basketball, man. Like this is like it's eventually turned into like summer league basketball or pickup basketball where guys are playing out of roles. And this is supposed to be about figuring things out, experimenting and learning with your 10-man rotation, 9-man rotation, whatever, figuring it out for the playoffs. This isn't it, man. This is not like we talked about this during the last post-game show. I'm trying to make all these like data-driven videos on the Sixers. Like you can't. None of these games mean anything because you look at the back-to-backs. You look a 7-man team. You would look at tonight. The data means nothing. It means nothing, and it's just hard to make those videos right now because
I think something that's also you can say as well about the NBA right now. And I think it's something that's going to be interesting to see as the season progresses is when it comes time where teams are like, okay, like we should probably make some trades. Are certain teams going to be confident in whether or not they should trade people just because of sample size?
Well said.
Like especially a team like the Sixers where we're probably going to be in the market looking for guys like power forwards, or even if we want to end up making that big blockbuster trade, and if they trade a guy like Ben Simmons or Tobias Harris come the middle of the season, I think it's going to be interesting to see if people even play enough games for that to be viable. Like,
what's nauseating about that is I know last year's season was like a complete mess, but you look at the starting lineup when they were playing together, you look at their net rating, it was really good. It was really good. And I don't want that to happen this year, man. Kind of like that's a borderline nightmare where you had such a small sample size of what it could be.
Okay, he's like that. That's got to be a clear. That's got to be a clear path foul.
I didn't see it.
You'll see it.
So the Hawks are on a massive run here in the second quarter. There's a nice little pull up by Joel. But that is my nightmare. You've seen how amazing Seth Curry and Ben and Joel look. The defense. Oh, nice little block by Maxey. Oh, my gosh. He is terrific, man. Dude, that guy is a lightning rod.
Dunder Dude said, I may need to hop off for my mental health. See, listen, Dunder. Now, this is where I'm going to be honest with you. This is the best place to get it out. If you want to help your mental health, you need to talk about things, you need to talk things through, and you need to just be honest with yourself. And we're being honest with you here. We're talking about what's going on right now, and that's where it comes down to. Mad Max. Oh, this is a hot take by Marquee 215.
It's not.
You don't think that's a hot take?
He's not Allen Iverson, not even close.
Okay, I was about to say.
But he plays with a physicality that Allen Iverson played with in terms of not afraid to hit the ground. He goes strong at the rim. He plays with a level of fearlessness, driving to the basket. That was Iverson playing with the Sixers. So I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Have fun. Oh, man. Hope everyone's having a good night. I know this game is not what we expected. I mean, for me personally, I was excited, like just looking at the schedule in the beginning of the season, going up against a team like the Atlanta Hawks, being that they come into the season, a lot of people saw them as a potential playoff team coming into the season, and I even said that as well. I think they have, I think when healthy, they have a very good shot at being in the top 8 in the Eastern Conference. I don't think that's surprising to say at all for anybody. But it just stinks that in this game that we don't have guys like Ben in here or Tobias or any of those guys. It sucks. But I will say, with this run of games right now, with a lot of our guys out with COVID, I think it's interesting that we get to see Tyrese Maxey really come out here and show us what he's got. And I mean, right now, we're not even close to ending the game yet, and he's got 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. So triple-double alert, I think, yes. So I think that in itself is exciting, where you got a young guy right now, a young guard, who could possibly end up playing next to guys like Ben and Joel. It's exciting to see somebody like that. Take over stream. Oh, thanks, Dunder, dude. I'm trying. What do we got here? I'm talking about his fearlessness. He will never be AI. Trust, I know. Okay, well, listen, I'm glad you know that. I mean, if he can become AI, I wouldn't be mad about that, but I don't think it's going to happen. But
no. He's not AI. He's like Patrick Beverly.
Please don't. No, that's too low. I'd be upset if he's just Patrick Beverly.
Nah, I'm like Patrick Beverly was like, if Tyrese Maxey can be like 16, it can be like that 16 points per game and all NBA defense. Like, I'm good with that. Like, I'm really good with that.
No, yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that, but I mean, like, I would rather him be like a Marcus Smart and 16 points per game. I honestly, I'm one of those people who think I don't think Patrick Beverly is as good of a defender as everybody else. Probably yes, he's a good defender. I just don't like. I think a guy like Marcus Smart or Drew Holiday needs a lot more credit than Patrick Beverly when it comes to defense, because Patrick Beverly just talks a lot and plays good defense, but you got guys who are quiet and who aren't, and not that Marcus Smart's necessarily quiet, but
Marcus Smart's not exactly quiet on
Drew Holiday, I should say, is one of those guys who's just like a silent killer, it feels like, on defense.
Yeah, both are pesky, super
Danny,
pesky.
you better hit.
All right, it's getting out of hand.
Danny front rim green. There he is.
I'm getting out of hand.
Yeah. Ms. Black just asked, when does Curry come back? The typical, like, I think he needs to have 2 negative tests before he can come back, and I think even then I don't think he's able to come back for like 10 to 14 days because he was positive. So we shall see, but it depends. It feels like the COVID policies are changing like all the time. So who knows, honestly.
Yeah, my God, that pick. I went on a limb going for Danny Green. He has 2 points, or Danny Green is my player of the game. He has 2 points in 20 minutes. He's a negative 15, 0 for 6 from 3. Danny, you're letting me down, bro. Come on, man.
And it's one of those things where it sucks because you like in situations like this, your starters that are playing need to step up. And one like something that we used to that was a little bit dirty. Something that we used to say when like if like Ben Simmons or Tobias Harris were hurt is that a guy like Josh Richardson at that shooting guard spot was capable of taking over a little bit more of a game where it came to like scoring off the dribble and having the ball in his hands a little bit more. And Danny Green just isn't that. They're not the same kind of player. Like Danny Green's your prototypical like 3-and-D role player. And like, oh my God, Atlanta's on a 45-12 run right now. 45-12.
Yeah, like they played great in the first quarter. It has been a disaster ever since.
Oh, good block. Pardon me. Do you think this has to do with fatigue or just bad execution?
Both.
Both.
We're not hitting shots.
Yeah. I will say I did say before you came back that that Tyrese Maxey is kind of on a triple-double alert right now.
Is he really?
For me, yeah.
Wow.
Right now he's got
nice block too.
Right now he's got 9 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. He's 4 for 8 from the field with 2 blocks. So he does have 2 turnovers though, which is already what he had last game.
It's nearly the amount of turnovers he's had the last 5 games.
See, here's the thing. Part of me is like we need to get Joel going a little bit more.
Yeah, where's Joel at?
I'm not sure. He's at
Joel Embiid has 24 points in this game.
You would not be able to tell that, in my opinion, based on just like what's going on. But like the amount that we're down, I mean, that just shows the defense that we're playing.
That's hilarious.
They have okay. This is why they have 37 points in the second quarter, and we scored 18. So part of it's execution on our part, but also defense awful. So let's look at. I'm gonna look at the stats all together for the game right now. So something that obviously equates to this lead by the Hawks right now is they're 8 for 21 on threes and we're 4 for 18.
Yeah.
We're shooting. Let me see what our 3-point percentage is. Our 3-point percentage is 22%. We've shot 3 less threes than them, and we're shooting. Oh my goodness, that's terrible. We're shooting 22% from 3. I mean, it makes sense when you got guys like Danny Green, who's 0 for 6, Tyrese Maxey 0 for 1, Mike Scott 0 for 1, Embiid 1 for 4.
Yep.
I mean, the only guy that's hitting threes is Dakota, really. Dakota's 2 for 4.
Yeah. That's the one thing that killed them on the road last year. The Sixers struggled on the road so much because they couldn't stop the three-pointer. They averaged, like 38% from 3 on defense on the road. And you look at the stats here for the Hawks, 38% from 3. 65 points. You look at the defense, which means nothing, by the way, from the Sixers' last 3 games, 123.9, 111.3, 118.8. The Sixers are struggling on defense, and they're all reasons that they can't control, obviously. But they have lost that edge for sure. It's 100% COVID related. But here we are. And this is what it looks like when you don't have Ben Simmons in the game, at least providing some sort of comfort.
Yeah.
So the Sixers giving up 65 points in the half. That's my fear. That is 100% my fear for this game because the Sixers, as we talked in the pregame, the Sixers are going to have to match the offense of the Hawks in order to win this game. And you could already see, I don't know if you guys see it or not, but it looks like the legs are getting tired here.
Yeah, I agree, and I like especially on the defensive end, not even just on the offensive end. You're seeing like we're having a little bit of a harder time chasing guys off the line, off the 3-point line. So Obviously, that's key into keeping the score down a little bit. The fact that they're shooting just as many, like more threes than we are, and they're shooting at a higher percentage. I think that should say enough about that. I will say a bright spot we can say is Joel Embiid has 24 points in 19 minutes with 10 rebounds. He's 8 for 17 with 1 block. He's 7 for 8 from the free throw line. I think the only way they win this game is if they come out of half playing a little bit cleaner of defense. I mean, the Hawks already have 17 free throws are made. They have 22 times the line already. So, I mean, I think coming in playing a little bit of cleaner defense into the half, but also just just being more efficient. And that's hard to say. It's hard to tell a team to be more efficient. I mean, when you don't have most of your starters out there, but I don't know. I feel like Danny Green going over 7 is just kind of unacceptable.
I know. Yeah. My player of the game pick is completely tanking right now. And it would be so on brand for Joel Embiid to get his first 40 burger of the season and the Sixers lose by 20. And that's what it's looking like right now.
No, honestly. But here's the thing, though. Joel is one of the only guys that's actually playing somewhat well, in my opinion. Although he's not shooting very efficiently either, 8 for 17. He's he's minus 17, which obviously is not good. But I mean, when you I don't even know what to say. It's so frustrating, and it's frustrating because it's part of it. You can't blame them because it's okay, you're out half your team, but then the other part of it, it's okay, you're out half your team, but you got to be more efficient than how you're playing.
I mean, we saw this against the Celtics in the playoffs. No Ben Simmons, the entire team's defense goes out the window. So Ben Simmons is the engine of the Sixers defense. And I know Joel Embiid is playing terrific defense this year. But
you can also play without Tobias Harris's defense right now. Yeah. I mean, he's been pretty key on defense for the Sixers this year so far as well.
Which is looking like another one of those games you just throw it out the window and just forget what happened and just look to whenever that happens, the day that the Sixers are fully healthy and ready to go. And who the hell knows when that's going to happen. So let's go to this comment by Mark. The good news is for Philly fans, the Flyers play Wednesday night. Let's go, Penguins. Oh, my God. I can't wait. We'll be live streaming that, by the way. We'll be live streaming that game Wednesday night, led by my man, Amadeo. Cannot wait for the Flyers. They're going to be so fun to watch.
What do we got going on here? Steven said, I'm so completely okay with all of this if it means we come into April and May in full health and on a roll. That's all I care about.
I will counter that. And I agree with that. A lot of that, but you need to have Ben and Joel develop in the pick and roll. We're not seeing it from Ben. You need them to have time on the court this year to take their growing pains and figure it out. So that's my only response to that.
All right. Danny Green with this percentage at normal time wouldn't be a problem, but not tonight when we need him to be efficient and not only on defense. And that's kind of what I was talking about, where it's normally Danny Green's not getting this many shots. We're not asking him to shoot the ball 7 times, sometimes not even 7 times in a game, obviously not in the first quarter or not in the first half. So yes, I agree, but still on a normal time, this percentage isn't okay either. Shooting literally 0%. This isn't even the first game he's done this. He is it's not. So it's just a little disappointing just because he one thing you see about guys that are good 3-point shooters in the NBA is typically as their careers go on. Danny Green has been known as a guy who's a good 3 and D player. Typically, those kinds of players, as they go on in their career, their defense deteriorates, but not their 3-point shot. Normally, their 3-point shot's a thing that stays with them through their career. So it's just it's a little it's a little disappointing, I should say.
Yeah. I'm gonna piggyback off of this. Keith says COVID and the NBA are killing us. I'm gonna say COVID, back-to-backs, and the NBA are killing us. They're fixed.
They're fixed. Dude, how many back-to-backs have we had so far this season? I feel like it's a shit.
We're getting our third here coming up tomorrow.
Oh my God, dude.
Crazy. It's only been a couple weeks.
It's like, is this just because, like, okay, obviously I know the season had to be condensed a lot more, and we had to squeeze 72 games into only a few months. So it's like, is there going to be even more back-to-backs in this, or are we just getting our back-to-backs over with in the beginning of the season? Like, because back-to-backs aren't usually this common.
Yeah, I don't know. Because we don't know the second half schedule, right? So, yeah. I don't know.
Like, is their mindset they're trying to get as many games done as they can this in the beginning of the season?
Let me look at the numbers here. I have the whole schedule right here. Hold on a second.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I agree, Chris. 0% really can only get better. What is this? Line them, shave it off, huh?
We have another back-to-back in a few days.
Jesus Christ. What is this?
Oh, my God. Then we have another back-to-back. Is this real? Hold on a sec. I'm going through the numbers here. All right. So the bad news is that looking at the Sixers schedule, the Sixers have 3 more back-to-backs coming up within the next 3 weeks. The good news is the rest of the schedule, they're cleared through March. So
yeah,
they're getting rid of their back-to-backs now. And just rest everyone. Just rest everyone until February and let's roll.
See, here's the thing though. As much as you want that, what this is a new team, new offense, new coaches, new players. You need time to gel. You need time to learn the offense. And sure, it's nice that the damn reserves and rookies are learning the offense right now. But we need our starters, and we need our guys who are gonna be playing this game in the big moments this year, and that's just not happening right now.
Yeah.
And it's honestly sad. Oh, man. Why is it every time I host that we lose games?
I know, man. I'm starting to have second thoughts. I'm just kidding.
I'm a bad luck charm, guys. I'm sorry. I would say I'm a bad luck charm if we didn't already have 2 other losses.
God, the Sixers will be what, 9-1 without you? Come on.
What is this comment?
Which one?
The one that I have highlighted.
So Jim Lynam is call him coach. He does the pre and post game for NBC Sports Philly, and he has this giant leprechaun Amish-esque beard that he doesn't shave, and he's got super wrinkly skin. He literally looks like a leprechaun.
Oh,
literally, it looks. I can't believe they allowed him to go on camera with that. He looks like a character from a movie or something.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
All right, that makes sense. Alex Smith says, get Patty Mills in from the Spurs. Now, I think a month ago or 2 months ago, I would have agreed with Alex on this one. But now seeing what Tyrese Maxey has the capabilities of being, I wouldn't want to do that. Although, I mean, Patty Mills shoots 40% from 3, and he has been on a hot streak so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's obviously a guy that would be amazing on this team. I still want to see Tyrese have those minutes, so I don't think I want him on this team. I will take Rudy Gay from them though. You want to give
I don't think Patty Mills plays good enough defense for the Sixers. I wholeheartedly agree. Like before Tyrese Maxey showed how good he is, I would have been great with Patty Mills. But I think the Sixers still need to bring in a guard defender that can defend the pick and roll when the playoffs start. That is the Sixers' biggest crux. It is their biggest Achilles heel to this day, stopping the pick and roll. And especially I'm talking about the Brooklyn Nets when they have Kyrie and KD going at you, driving to the basket. That is number one priority is defending the pick and roll with those two. So that's just my little nugget. I like what I see from Tyrese Maxey in that Patty Mills role. So I'm good with that.
I wouldn't mind trading Danny Green back to the Spurs, trading Mike Scott, and trying to grab Rudy Gay from them.
All right, that's an interesting name. I'd be down with that. That's a good fit. I see it.
He can shoot off the dribble. He can create his own shot, but he can also stretch the floor at that spot, and he's consistent. So,
Ryan, we're not talking about this. We're not talking about this. This is we did our Doug Peterson reaction a few hours ago. If you want to go see that, it's there at the Painted Lines YouTube channel. We did a quick 30-minute reaction to Doug Peterson getting fired. So it's all there. But I'm done talking about Eagles. Unless it's the NFL draft, screw them. Like they don't deserve to be talked about. And Howie Roseman still being on this front office is a crime. It's a straight crime. I don't get it. I don't get it. And the fact that Howie's still on this team says everything you need to know about Jeffrey Lurie. Is he's trying to fix the team, but he has no idea how.
I don't even think that he has no idea how. I think he just likes Howie Roseman. I think he just thinks Howie Roseman's shit don't smell.
Like going back to like the Phillies with like Montgomery and Ruben Amaro Jr., if anybody remembers that back in the day when Ruben was terrible and they couldn't ever move on and they were buddies and they just can't get rid of these guys. It's hard.
Well,
it's
that's
really
part of the reason with Jeff and the players. Like, there's a reason why he signed back Brandon Graham and he signed back Jason Peters because he likes him. And mind you, like Brandon Graham obviously was a good signing back, and but I don't think anybody can sit here confidently and say it was smart to sign Jason Peters back even 2 years ago.
No.
Like, I don't know.
No, it's a hot mess.
I think part of the reason.
The Eagles are going to be bad. The Eagles are going to be really bad for the foreseeable future. Until they get rid of Howie Roseman, the Eagles are looking at years of not just mediocrity, but I think all signs point to the Eagles being really bad next year. Really,
I actually don't even
think going to come to the Eagles and resurrect Carson Wentz.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like no one wants to come to the Eagles. It's a train wreck. You can win a Super Bowl and then 3 years be fired and booed out of town. And then nothing changes because Howie Roseman, the general manager, who has final say on the NFL draft and everything else, and who plays week in, week out, is still there. It is such a depressing story.
Speaking of depressing, this game is starting to depress me. The Sixers are now down 69-50. We're not hitting shots. Trae Young is to heat up.
This is wow. Well, what is the run here from the second quarter?
Dude, it's got to be ridiculous.
Oh my god.
I don't even know. I wish, dude, we're shooting 37% right now.
Yeah, it's 41-18 from the second quarter. Nice blocks Trae Young here, so Anyway, this is no good.
I just want to see. Like, here's the thing. I'll feel a little bit better if Tyrese goes off. Honestly. I'm so upset.
Yo, that looked really bad by Joel.
Yeah. I mean, he's just trying too hard, but I mean, I don't necessarily blame him.
Whoops.
We're not sponsored by Disney World, I promise. I mean, if you like and subscribe, maybe someday. Guys, I'm sorry. I know this is probably a little bit more boring than usual, but I don't even know what to talk about right now. This game sucks.
Let's talk about Mandalorian.
No, because then I'm gonna spoil something, so I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about
Best movie of the year.
God.
Yeah, Sixers cannot hit a bucket right now. This is horrendous.
We can't do anything. We're fouling. This is starting to feel like when you want to get drunk during an Eagles game. Steven is saying, please, for the love of God, take JoJo out.
You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. Games like this, you just want to forget it. It's not worth it. Just want to say thank you to everyone that's still watching with us.
Yeah. I'm surprised we have viewers right now.
This game is terrible.
Yeah, it is.
And the Sixers have completely tanked since the first quarter in this one. And it's beyond obvious. They don't have the legs. They don't have the offensive firepower to keep up with the Hawks. And they don't have the roster defensively to be what they were, the first 8 games of the year. So they're just – I think what I'm disappointed most about is, even though it's not his role, is Danny Green, man. Like, Danny Green's a veteran. He has 2 points in 24 minutes. Like, he's giving you nothing. Danny Green's giving you absolutely nothing here. And the problem is he's getting wide open shots in this game. Mm-hmm. Wide open shots. Even nice take by Maxey. He's getting wide open shots even with a depleted roster, and he's still breaking them.
Yeah, like, you can't sit here and say, like, well, he's got no talent around him right now. Like, he's just a role player, like, which he is, but he's still getting a lot of the same looks he would when he's just playing with a guy like Ben Simmons. Like, he's getting open looks in the corner, open looks on the hash marks, open looks from 3. He's getting shots that he would be taking no matter what.
Yep.
And so I think that's what's frustrating, is like, this game could look very different if he's even shooting 50%. I mean, actually, let's think about that. If he makes 4 more threes, what's the score right now?
Wait, say it again.
What's the score right now if Danny Green made 4 threes?
12. 60. They'll be down 10.
So, not much of a difference, but more respectable. A game that's still at least worth watching. This is, at this point, we're almost down by 30. So, I mean, if that doesn't give you enough information like that, I don't know what else does. Keith Richmond said, watching you and Family Guy. Wow, I'm glad we can be your secondary entertainment to Family Guy. We appreciate that.
Would Daryl Morey be like the Stu of Family Guy? Like, who would Daryl Morey be? And who would be Peter? Peter would be the Danny Green.
I can't. I tried to laugh like him, and it just didn't come out. That was funny.
Danny Green would definitely be the Peter.
Who's Brian?
Yeah, Brian would be. He's like the smart one. He'd be
Benny Ben?
who?
Benny Ben Simmons?
Yeah, that's exactly who I was thinking for Brian.
Who's Lois?
That's,
Is Lois is the
that's the mom, right?
yeah, I must ask Tobias Harris. He's like the mom of the group.
Out maybe Dwight Howard.
No. I don't think. I think like when I think Lois, I think she's like the mom. Like I just think a mom role of like the responsible like the responsible mom who's trying to like make sure everyone's doing the right thing. That's where I think Tobias Harris, like the leader of the group kind of thing.
I like
Dwight
it.
Howard's the energy guy, so I'm gonna say Dwight's probably the misunderstood. Misunderstood. He's funny, and I'm gonna say that. Oh my goodness, what's his name? Peter's son. What's his name?
I don't remember.
Oh my goodness, guys, what's Peter's son's name? I can't remember. Someone's got to know that.
He said Coyle says Dwight is Quagmire. Who's like
No.
who's like the terrible awkward guy like on the Sixers? That's the Quagmire.
Terrible awkward guy. Shake Milton? Nah.
No. I love this roster too much.
What's up?
I love this roster too much. To call someone on this roster like a creeper, like Quagmire, like giggity. All right.
Who is weird on this roster? I'm really trying to think.
Zaire Smith's gone, so that guy was weird.
You talk about that constantly.
That guy was weird.
Chris. Peter's son's name is Chris.
Oh, was it Chris?
I guess so. I couldn't remember.
Who's the lazy guy on the Sixers? Ben Simmons?
Oh God! Don't say that. Don't say that. Mike Scott.
No, he is what he is. He might be the mom.
No. Oh, who's Meg? Who's the Meg on this team? Dude, if Mike Scott bricks another three, the fact that we have two guys on this team who are supposed to be like at least like decent shooters that consistently miss, it just like Mike. Think about this: when Mike Scott first got here, he was a guy that we were like 50% of the time, like he was that guy that when he shot the ball, you're like, that's probably going to go in. Now every time he shoots, I'm like, that's not going in. Like if it goes in, I get excited rather than the other way around at this point.
Yeah, this game's brutal.
Oh, Isaiah Joe, like equals Kevin Durant right there. That mid-range jump shot. Furkan is Meg. Chris says. What do you think about that one?
I mean, Furkan's a pretty handsome dude. Is Meg that hot?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh my God, no.
So I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't know. Meg. I don't like Meg is like the. I don't know. I can't think of anyone.
Oh, Isaiah Joe hitting threes all of a sudden. Tiago's going to be excited when he comes on here. Oh my God, Tiago's probably going to tear his eyes out right now that he's going to have to talk about this stuff.
I mean, they're almost down 30 on my end.
The score is 83-57.
Okay.
Tyrese, come on. Ooh, Tyrese. Ooh, Tyrese.
What we did to Orlando. What is Atlanta shooting right now? 37.5% from three. They're not shooting like lights out.
Oh, come on.
Nice shot by Tyrese Maxey. That was nice.
You know, Tyrese Maxey sucks.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Whoops.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Dibes.
So I did a video yesterday on my top 5 reasons why the Batman will be better than the Dark Knight.
Okay.
So there's a new Batman movie called The Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, and it looks like
I wonder what that's about.
it looks like it's a detective crime noir, like Seven. It looks awesome, and I'm just so hyped for it. And
you know what else would be awesome?
what?
If Superman became Superman all of a sudden.
Or this. The Sixers are playing like Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh my! I didn't think that movie was terrible. Now I'm not a comic book guy, so like I can't say like I know you said like it just didn't like go true to the comics apparently.
I didn't like it.
But like personally, I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was terrible.
It's not terrible. It was just disappointing because Patty Jenkins is my girl, and I was hoping to see some things better creative decision making in that movie, and it fell in love with a certain concept that shouldn't have been in the movie to begin with. It was like Patty Jenkins had a political narrative that she wanted to make in the movie, and it just shouldn't. I mean, that's what film is. Like, it is creative expression, and you can do whatever you want with it. But it didn't make sense in the plot of the movie, and it didn't work at all.
I got you. What do you say? Aram says, do you think the Hawks will make the playoffs? I said early in the season, or like honestly before the season, that I think the Hawks are pretty easily going to be in the playoffs. I actually think that they have a chance of being the top 5 seed. So I mean, we'll see what happens, but it wouldn't necessarily surprise me. How about you, Chris? What do you think?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Oh shit! I just threw my phone on the ground by accident. Ray Young is kind of giving us problems right now.
You can't take anything out of this game.
Cam Reddish is giving us problems too, apparently. God damn it.
There's nothing you can read in this
That
game.
was DeAndre Hunter. Just kidding.
There's nothing you can read in this game that carries over into the playoffs. Nothing.
Guys, I don't like the Sixers right now. Or I don't like the NBA right now, I should say.
Yeah, Atlanta's going off right now. Maybe we'll get an early post game in.
Maybe. This is making me want to go to bed and just wake up tomorrow and have a happier day. Why do they have to stink? I was so excited.
You're hosting.
What's up?
Because you're hosting. The Sixers are shooting 5 of 23 from 3. Getting out rebounded 42 to 28. Only 13 assists. They only have 8 turnovers, which is a number that's less than I would imagine. Holy crap. The Hawks have 21 fast break points compared to the Sixers' goose egg. 0 fast break points.
Because we can't hit shots.
Even on the points in the paint. Oh my gosh, this is not good. This is
all around ass kicking.
The Sixers had a lead in the first quarter by 9 points. What run is the Hawks on from that point? Like, I really want to know. Like, it's got to be crazy. It's got to be crazy.
Steven said, anyone got an Adam Silver dartboard?
That's a great comment. Great comment.
Aram says nobody should pay to watch the NBA this season.
You could just watch us.
That's true. But we're basically the NBA. I mean, I could do what Danny Green's doing right now if I played in the NBA.
Shoot 0 for 6.
Yeah, I could do it.
Negative. Is he 0 for 9, really?
Huh?
Is Danny Green seriously 0 for 9 from 3?
Let me check. Danny Green is, hold on. Danny Green is 0 for 9 from the field, 0 for 7 from 3.
He's actually shot pretty well up until now.
I'm not going to lie, I could pretty easily do that.
But you take away this game in the last 5 games, like he's shooting 47% from 3.
Yeah, but you can't take away that.
I've just been saying is Danny Green's been playing better, and you just can't really count these last 2 games because the pacing, the pace has been down. The spacing hasn't been good. Seth Curry's not playing. Ben Simmons. It's just a different type of team right now. So as much as you want to pile on Danny Green and pile on, the fact of the matter was he was shooting 47% from 3 the last 5 games, playing really good defense, and was a key cog of the Sixers that were 7-1 at one time. So I completely agree. The last 2 games have been brutal. He's 2 for 16 now from 3 of these last 2 games so far. So
this should show how the Sixers are playing right now. The people they have on the floor right now, they have Dakota Mathias out there. They have Isaiah Joe, Mike Scott, Paul Reed, and Dwight Howard. They don't even have a ball handler out on the floor right now.
Nope.
I think Dakota Mathias is basically running point guard for them.
That's crazy.
And here's also the thing. So far, I've seen Paul Reed hit a deep mid-range shot. I've seen Dwight Howard take a mid-range shot. So that should just show you how this is going so far. And Kevin Huerter is just giving us the business. I hate watching bad basketball.
You can just see every shot they take is hitting front rim.
Ugh. I feel like we can't buy a bucket, honestly.
And the crazy part is we have 3 more back-to-backs coming within the next 2-3 weeks. Three more.
Dude, we're down 95 to 65 right now. We're shooting 20% from 3. I can only imagine what we're shooting from the field in general.
I can tell you in a second. 20% from 3, 38% from the field.
It's not.
Well, is it post-game time? What do you guys think?
Dude, we're not even done the third yet.
You're down 30.
Think how sad that is. We're in the third quarter. They're about to score 100 points in the third quarter.
There's been a lot of games like this, to be honest. Just games that are not even competitive.
It's just sad. Dude, we're shooting 19. Oh, my Lord. We're shooting 19% from 3, guys. Can we just put Maxey back in the game, please?
Just playing 48 minutes.
Dude, I just want to see Maxey play. That's the only person I care about at this point. Mike Scott, there goes another brick. Thank you for that. Love it.
The Sixers have gotten outscored 67 to 33 in the last 2 quarters. 67 to 33.
At the end of the third, Sixers are losing 97 to 65. Chris said, why was this game not postponed? See, the problem is now this team has 9 players available when you put Mike Scott out there for real and you have Joel Embiid back. What's up?
Well, what is tomorrow going to look like?
I agree.
You might have Ben. You might have Ben.
I don't think so.
You don't think Ben's playing?
I don't think he is. What is his okay? Austin's talked about this before. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm referring to at NBA Crow, Austin Crow, our Sixers beat reporter. He's talked about how Clutch Sports, who is the agent behind Ben Simmons, like how much power they have in the NBA with the athletes that they represent. Like, if I'm his management, do I want Ben Simmons out there? Hell no. Dude, I wouldn't even want Joel out there. Like, until you can get guys around him again, like it's like there's no point. Like, they're not gonna win games. Like, you're seeing it right now. If you have a good guard to go up against us right now, like, you're not winning that game. It's just it seems like we're gonna see a lot of losing.
Big time.
And it's just
I know. Just a week ago, we were gushing over the Sixers' second unit of Tyrese, Shea, Dwight, and how terrific that looked. And now everything has changed. Everything has changed, not because of the Sixers, but because of the freaking COVID-19 pandemic. It's like this is like I'm not saying it's equivalent, but it's close to when the Flyers were like the number 1 or number 2 odds to win the Stanley Cup, and they were just lights out terrific in the NHL, and then the league was postponed. That's how this feels, kind of like it just got the rug was swept right from underneath us.
Fave says, I live in France and I'm already tomorrow. I can tell you it's not pretty to see. Well, Fave, we appreciate you watching over in France. Like, let us know if Fave, do you got other NBA fans in France that are fans of the Sixers? Say in the comments, let us know. Also, do you watch Paris's team in France? Because I know somebody on the 1 second. Let me look them up because I don't remember the exact team name. But Fave, this is just for you, or anybody else who's watching who's in France. But I have a friend who plays. 1 second. Who plays for Paris basketball. Where did Chris go? Mark says we get to Saturday, we got everybody back but Curry. Really? I didn't know that. How is he your friend? Aram, I went to college with a guy. Chris said Dives is done. He just walked away. I went to college with a guy who plays for Paris. I used to go to a lot of the Shippensburg games. I went to Shippensburg University. I went to a lot of the games. I talked to him pretty consistently. His name was Dustin Slava.
I had to get my Rice Krispie treats fixed.
Nice. Yeah. So, Fave. Do you know who Dustin Slava is? He plays for Paris basketball. He went to college with me, and he plays in Paris, France. So I don't know if you know who that is, but Dustin. What's up?
Is he related to Flava Flav? Slave? Never mind.
I'm not going to answer that question. This is what we're talking about when we talk about dad jokes. Yeah, Dustin Slava. If you don't know, now you know. He's a beast. He played for Ship, and really fun to watch playing basketball. I don't know how he's doing for France as much. I look up his numbers every once in a while, but I know he's playing. He was a beast when he played in the U.S. So, Fave, let me know if you know anything about that guy. But I'm going to use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Ooh, look at that. Jaden just said big Sixers following here in Australia for obvious reasons. Yes, we get that. Yo, tell your friends about us. Make sure everybody you know like Sixers watching our videos, coming and stopping by.
We're big Ben Simmons people here. Big Ben Simmons fans. Although he needs to become better attacker. He's really struggling at getting points and attacking the basket this year. That needs to improve. He's learning the pick and roll. 0.2 points per possession in the pick and roll as a scorer. 41% as a scorer in the pick and roll. Needs to get better. It just needs to get better. But then again, he's learning it for the first time, and you should expect him to have some growing pains, take his lumps through this first part of the year. And that's kind of what's also disheartening about this start for the Sixers, because COVID-19, they're not playing together. You want to see Ben and Joel facilitate a pick and roll with the necessary supporting cast like Danny Green and Seth Curry and everyone else. And Shake was playing a lot with Ben earlier in the year. So that's what is kind of my takeaway is so far tonight is you're getting robbed, man. I honestly wish this game was postponed. That way they can hopefully get more time, playing time, minutes together, and just really work on that spacing that we just simply fell in love with when they were 7-1, and the offense was so efficient. This was a team that was number one defensive efficiency, but also near top 10 offensive efficiency, and that was mostly because of Seth Curry, the spacing, and everything that we saw. And it's just you can't really have a firm basketball opinion on this team after watching these last couple games. You just can't. It means nothing. The only thing that you could probably have a takeaway with is Tyrese Maxey's really, really good. He looked far and above the best player on the court. And even though Joel Embiid has 24 points, he's been at that point for a while now here in the second half. But I've been impressed with Tyrese Maxey and his ability to run a pick and roll, his ability to get downhill, his fearlessness to put the ball up, get buckets, look for contact. He's not afraid to hit the ground. He's been everything. And like I said, there's very little you can take away from these previous two games. But I do think Tyrese Maxey's the main takeaway, and that he's going to get incrementally more and more playing time as the season progresses. Like Paul Reed, Isaiah Joe, Tony Bradley, Coyle, like those guys aren't going to be getting playoff time. That's not even a question. So, but Tyrese Maxey.
This is a great thought. This is a really good comment right here. Fave, I agree with you.
No.
Dustin could not play a lick of defense in the NBA, in my opinion. But his offensive game, I think, could play here, especially that 3-point shot. Dustin is a guy who I went to college with. Well, he's older than me. I only spent, I think it was 1 year at college with him at the same time. But right now he's playing for Paris, in Paris, France, professionally. And he played the center position at like 6'8", and he was shooting like 40% from three. Led the Division II NCAA in 3 points made for Shippensburg basketball and rebounding. Just a really good all around player. Good fundamentals, good defense at the center position, at least for D2. But I'll tell you, that man can shoot too, and I think he could be good on this team. But he did play D2 for a reason, so
That's fine.
yeah. He looked like, in my opinion, when he was playing in college, he was playing the center position, but now when he's playing in the for Paris, if anyone wants to watch his highlights, he kind of looks like Klay Thompson a little bit.
Nice. Glad to see Isaiah Joe making some shots tonight, but I'm still not a true believer that he's going to make, the rotation of the 9-man rotation in the playoffs. Like, ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen.
No, I mean, not unless all of a sudden Matisse Thybulle is gone or Danny Green's gone, he's not making a rotation. The only way he's playing is if there's a trade, in my opinion.
No.
Would you unload Tobias Harris, Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey? Why would
that is crazy.
That is a legitimate insane. Like the amount you're giving up for a guy, like two people who haven't proven shit. And don't get me wrong, I really like Zach LaVine, and I'll take Zach LaVine on the Sixers. But for one, the money isn't even close to match up. Like you're talking about a guy who makes like $20-some million and a guy who makes like under like $8 million, I think, in Lauri Markkanen.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're talking with Tobias and Ben, you're talking about one guy makes $35 million, the other guy makes like $25 million, and Tyrese. How much is Tyrese making right now?
First round pick money.
Like what, $8 million probably?
Sure.
But either way, it not even close to matching up. Like the only trade that would make sense in that case would be if you're trading, to be getting a guy like Lauri Markkanen would be if you're trading over Tobias Harris and you're getting Otto Porter and Lauri Markkanen back. That's the only thing that makes sense for Lauri. And if you're trading for Zach LaVine, you're probably giving Tobias up as well again. But you're also probably going to have to give up a guy like Shake Milton and Matisse Thybulle just for like value of prospects.
Yeah.
But yeah, that a trade like that would never happen.
No, I'm running with Tobias and his history with Doc Rivers right now. If Doc and Tobias can manage that 40% 3-point shooting, I'm good. And I love Zach LaVine, he's terrific. But Ben Simmons, no. The conversation between Tobias for Zach LaVine, that's an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
That's a totally different conversation. Lauri Markkanen's nice, but you can find stretch fours, guys that can hit 3-pointer shots like Lauri Markkanen in the G League, wherever you want to go. You can't find guys like Tyrese Maxey who has the instincts and IQ and intangibles to facilitate a pick and roll in today's NBA and defend the pick and roll like Tyrese Maxey. I go, that's an easy no.
Yeah. Either way, you're trading away so much upside, and it just wouldn't make any sense at all. Whatever though, like that's just not happening.
Steven's bringing the heat tonight. Markkanen should be the 7th defenseman for the Flyers. Oh, that's great. Oh, by the way, we have a Flyered Up podcast tomorrow at 11:30 a.m., which will be Hunter Brody as a guest appearing with Amadeo and Chris, and they're talking a Flyers season preview. Flyers season starts on Wednesday night against the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they're doing a season preview tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. and have a big guest, Hunter Brody. Check it out.
Yeah, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Fave put talking about Dustin Slava, the guy I went to college with at Chip. He plays as a power forward in France and was averaging 40% on from the 3-point line last year. That's crazy. I'm telling you, dude, like he could shoot the ball at Chip, so that does not surprise me at all. Okay, Anthony, I think this is a little overzealous. Got to get rid of Danny Green or move him to the bench. He can't play heavy minutes.
Oh my God, no.
I'd rather have Alec Burks.
No.
I would say when it comes to what we want in like team defense, Alec Burks is not that. I think Alec Burks, if you just want to simply want a guy who can get a 3 off, then sure. But that's not what you want. We already have guys that can shoot higher percentages than Alec Burks, like Seth Curry, Shake Milton, and Furkan. Obviously, we have not seen Shake or Furkan do that as much right now, but of course, you know what? Actually, let's talk about this. Did Seth Curry? Why is it that the one guy who's shooting amazing for the Sixers gets COVID?
Because of the 2017 Super Bowl and the deal we made with the devil.
Yeah, is that what it is?
You're still paying for it, man.
It makes me sad.
We talked about that during our Doug Peterson pod. Like the just the amount of just stupidity that Doug had to meet with his boss, Jeffrey Lurie, and say, I'm gonna make the Eagles better by promoting from within with Press Taylor and everyone else. Just makes me think of how lucky we were as Eagles fans and Philly sports fans of 2017. Like everything just aligned way more than you could ever imagine. It was just such a flash in the pan, lightning in a bottle moment. That, I mean, it was the best moment of my life. Besides getting married, of course. And Eva, of course. She's sleeping. I hope so. But I mean, that was just goes to show you how lucky that the Eagles were. Just
that championship win is one of those things where I'll never forget where I was when that happened.
Yep.
Where were you when the Eagles won the Super Bowl?
Is he still here?
What's up? Chris?
I don't see him anywhere. I was at Coyle's house, and there was probably about 3 or 4 different parts of that game where I just broke down crying.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And when they won, I literally just fell to the ground and just straight up cried. And Coyle, like I'm laying down face down on the ground, just crying my ass off. And Coyle comes over and just suplexes me, like trying to get me off the floor, and just like body slams me. I mean, amazing moments.
Hi guys, if you don't know who just joined, this is Tiago at TScabia on Twitter. He is notorious for his post-game analysis and also his articles on thepaintedlides.com.
How do you guys do it, man? How do
Tiago,
you
guys... we are struggling.
Chris is like, I need my life back.
We're literally it has come to us talking about what we've talked about Family Guy. We've talked about random ass TV shows. We've talked about right now we're talking about the Eagles.
Oh, let's talk about the Eagles. I like that.
We've just been trashing Danny Green for about like 2 hours. So
at one point tonight I thought, who's faster, Danny Green or my grandmother? And I was debating that for like a good 2 minutes. I'm like, maybe she could actually like take him in the first 10 yards or something like that. I like to think he's like conserving himself, but he may be washed.
Yeah, I don't know what you like. He was shooting the ball better up until that last game against the Nuggets.
Yeah,
but it's just been a train. How do you like you're a stats guy, Tiago. Like, how much do you even look into these last 2 games?
I mean, with 3-point shooting, it's tough to look at such a small sample size, you know. But with Danny Green, it's just the quality of the looks. They're like wide open, and he just does not hit them consistently enough. Yeah. It doesn't look to me like he has good lift on his legs. It looks like his legs just a little bit either tired or just heavy. I don't know. It just doesn't look good, man, when he comes off his hands. Like, he was missing some wide open looks today, and he looked pretty bad. Similar to Mike Scott, who hasn't hit a shot in like 2 years, which is
who?
Mike Scott.
Who's that?
Yeah, the guy who paid a lot of money.
I was actually just talking about Mike Scott, and one of the guys that in here, at least was in here, Fave. He's from France, and somebody who I went to college with is playing basketball in France right now. And I was asking him because the guy I went to college with, he was a 40% 3-point shooter at 6'8" from D2 school, like division, Shippensburg University, where I went, where I go, and he's shooting 40% for the professional leagues in France, playing for Paris. And I'm like, and he's a power forward. I'm like, dude, if the Sixers had him, had him right now, they'd be sitting pretty.
Man, I watch a lot of college basketball. I'll tell you right now, I could pick like the third guy on like Vanderbilt's bench, and he could probably be a better player than Mike Scott at the moment. It's like, what are we doing, man? Like, the guy's absolutely terrible. He hasn't done anything over a year now. But they have to pay him.
I would argue 2 years.
2 years, right?
He didn't do shit last year either.
Yeah, he hit that shot against Brooklyn. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, well, coming into the season, like, Doc was like, Mike knows what we expect of him. Like, he's played for me before. He thinks that he's going to come into this year shooting better. He's coming in lighter. He's like all this shit, talking how like he's the new and improved Mike Scott. Mike Scott Hives coming back, and just like he looks the same as he did last year. He's missing everything. To me, he's eventually going to not be playing. I really think like eventually they're going to be like, hey, Mike Scott, you're 6'6", Matisse Thybulle, you're 6'5". Go in and play the power forward spot for him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see him playing when everybody comes back and Korkmaz comes back too.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy who like you can use to match salaries, right? So he's whatever $5 million last year of his deal. Yeah. You know, you throw that money into match salaries, but like you have to be like a little bit like you have to bring something to the table. Like if you're gonna go to like I don't know, like a contending team, like you're just gonna eat up their cap and do nothing.
Yeah, look what Matt said. Mike Sack could have put a beach ball in the ocean. That's terrible.
I mean, if he puts a beach ball in the ocean, that's more than he's done in the last 2 years here. So,
dude, like, here's the thing too. I don't think a lot of people think about this. Isn't Furkan like 6'7"?
Yeah, something like that. 6'6".
Yeah, he's like 6'6", 6'7". I'm pretty sure. Like he's not a small guy. He's just like lanky and like skinny, but he's not like tiny. Like he's a tall dude for what he actually is. Like it would not surprise me at all if they started trying to put him at the power forward spot because he's not going to get as many minutes at the guard spots, especially if Tyrese is playing like this. So if they're like, okay, Mike, well, you're not hitting your shots. It wouldn't surprise me if they were like, hey, just play the stretch four for us, Furkan.
Man, I don't know. What was that, Chris?
Of all the live streams, we're like begging for Furkan and Korkmaz, and Nadir's not here.
Nadir's not here because Furkan's been out.
I just saw Tony Bradley hit a jumper, which is like, again, more than Mike Scott has done in the last 2 years, which is insane.
Yo,
this is not a Mike Scott friendly.
Even said Isaiah Joe on fire. Yeah. He's 4 for 7 from 3. Listen. Tiago was probably the guy on TPL.
Yeah, that's right.
Man. That was my guy.
So how do you feel, Tiago, about Isaiah Joe somewhat coming into his own this year?
Listen, Chris knows how much time we spent on Isaiah Joe this offseason, right? So watching him hit a couple shots here after a horrendous start feels a little bit like, things are coming back to normal. I like him, man. I think you guys watch him. Like, that shot looks pure, man. It's like smooth as anything.
He's Kevin Durant.
And he's doing it like not only like in a spot up, but he's doing it like off triple handoffs. He's like doing off pick and roll. So
yeah, he's Kevin Durant, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's between him and Joe.
Hold on, Tiago. Did you hear what I just said?
He's Kevin Durant, right? He's the missing piece.
Oh my god. Okay, no. Okay. Oh my god. I almost had a heart attack. I thought you were actually sitting there saying that he's like Kevin Durant because that's we've been making.
Come on now.
We've been making jokes all live stream because apparently, I guess somebody. I think Austin.
A lot of people.
I think Austin said it, and yeah, a lot of people have compared Isaiah Joe to Kevin Durant, and I was just like, I don't know. Krell came on here and said that, and like Dives was saying it too. People were comparing Joe to Kevin Durant, even though like it's not even close.
Their games are nothing like it. I don't understand. Like,
Oh no, they're not. It's and the way we said it was anybody will compare anybody who looks a little bit lanky and can hit it. And I said anybody who looks a little bit lanky and can hit a 3-point shot. That's a little bit further back. What?
It wasn't Isaiah Joe. It just dawned on me. It was, I actually asked this guy the question during the media day. It was Mariel Shayok. Do you remember that, Tiago?
oh yeah. Because
Well, I know Mario Shayok was compared to that. I mean, he freaking wore 35. They actually like looked sort of similar, like face looked sort of similar, and they had like you could say Mario Shayok had a mid-range game and his shot looked sort of similar, but like
you know what the only difference was though? The only difference between both of them.
inches shorter
Like
than
Durant. Yeah, but Durant could get the shot off pretty quickly. It takes Shayok like 2 minutes to get that shot off. So you just can't survive in the NBA like that.
I agree.
me and Chris actually talked, or me and Dibes actually talked about like I think I said that to you like one of the first live streams ever done on with TPL was that like something you notice with guys in the G League if they're gonna be good NBA players is like if they're capable of if they make it look easy in the G League.
Yeah,
like, that's something you saw with Shake Milton. Is like Shake Milton made his points look easy in the G League, where like a guy like Shayok, sure he was scoring almost 30 points a game, but they were like hard 30 points a game. It seemed like.
right.
All right, let's start this post game so I can go to bed.
You want to host the post game, or do you want me to?
It's your choice, man.
You got it. I'm tired. You got it.
I don't blame you.
I
All right, guys.
want you to give the energy.
All right, we are going to do our. Hold on, let me fix the banner here. Hold on a second.
We're putting a different banner out.
Yeah, I'm gonna add the post game show.
Oh, I was thinking brand for some reason, not banner. Hey guys, if you don't already know, stick around. We're gonna do a post game real quick. We're gonna just blast Danny Green probably. So just
Well, and Adam Silver too, because this is
oh my god, yes, thank
so
you.
just stick around. And if you haven't already, if you don't already know, we usually cut this out and make it a separate video. So if you can, please go show that video some love. Hit the like button, watch it, get those views up. We'd really appreciate it. Comments on the video, those help as well. And we will be down in the comments hanging out with y'all after we post it. So do that for us. We'd really appreciate it.
All right, gonna run the intro and then we'll start with the post game, guys. See you on the other side. Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Dives, Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. Welcome to our Sixers versus Nets post-game show. The Sixers got the L tonight, 112-94, a depleted Sixers roster. Today, we're going to talk about our top takeaways. We'll do some grades, and we'll talk about what this game means for the Sixers moving forward. Joining us tonight is my man, Justin. He was with us tonight during the entire watch party. Follow him on Twitter at @J_Persichetti. What's going on, Justin?
This game sucked, but we're going to talk about it. That's what's going on. The game was terrible. It was a hard to watch game. We sat through it though. Everyone who stuck with us, we appreciate you for sticking with us throughout this game.
Amen.
Hard to watch, but we're still here.
All right, let's break it down. Also joining us is my man Tiago. Puts out so much amazing NBA content and Sixers content over at thepaintlines.com. Please be sure to check out all of his latest articles at thepaintlines.com. Follow my man Tiago on Twitter at tscabia. Tiago, what's up?
Yeah, man. This is game 2 of the COVID Sixers version, and I'm ready to end, man. Like, if it's not Maxey doing his own little thing there, it's just like, God, make this stand right now. So tonight was like, the breaking point for me. So hopefully things start going back to normal here.
Yeah, let's talk about our top takeaways. And it really starts with that second and third quarter. The Sixers were outscored 69-33 between the second and third quarters, and just were unhinged after I think a promising first quarter where you could maybe say like maybe the Sixers offense can keep it up with the Atlanta Hawks, but no, it just completely fell apart, especially defensively. The Sixers couldn't keep up, and here we are. So my takeaway I have, and this goes back to my player of the game, was Danny Green. This guy shot 0 for 9 from the field, had 2 points in 28 minutes. I went out on a limb hoping that this guy was finally going to like step up, because the Sixers, you knew the pace was going to be down. You knew the Hawks would be double teaming Embiid, and you just had to have a guy step up on the perimeter and make shots. Danny Green shot 0 of 7 from three-point range. That's not good enough. We talked about Danny Green ad nauseum. I actually thought he's been shooting the ball well before these last two games, and looking better and better. We know the defense has been okay as long as the Sixers have been healthy. But Danny Green, man, major letdown. Justin, what was one of your takeaways?
So many takeaways. So many. I think the biggest thing is just like the inconsistency of shooting. I mean, obviously, it's hard to be consistent when you consistently don't have the players you need out there. But I think, like you said, Danny Green's play was inexcusable. He's missing open looks. Sure, you can make the excuse that, there's not like the normal team's not out there. You can make the excuse that maybe the spacing is a little different. Maybe he's shooting from different spots.
Whoops, my bad.
But I don't think you can make the excuse enough to actually excuse him from how bad he's been playing. I'm gonna say one good thing though. I want to keep it as light as I can. Tyrese Maxey, although he did not play, he didn't play as good as he did the other day. He had a good decent game. He did. He scored 15 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 50% from the field, 2 blocks. Like, I don't know.
Yep. I mean, if there's one takeaway is that Tyrese Maxey deserves more playing time as the season progresses. What about you, Tiago? What's the takeaway?
Yeah, with Maxey, like when you draw Trae Young, you have to really be aware of what Trae likes to do, which is like get on your body, draw contact, and get to the line. And through the first 12 minutes, Trae had 0 free throw attempts. So that speaks to like the growth that we're seeing with Tyrese. Like defensively, he has been really good these last 3 or 4 games. And I thought he was great again tonight. I mean, he had the couple blocks on Trae. He was well connected with him for most of the game. So, you know, you're seeing the growth with Maxey on the defensive end, which is super exciting because it's very easy to look at the box score and see him offensively and be like, wow, this guy has it. So again, defensively, I thought he was really, really good. With Danny Green, like, you know, we'd like to think, you know, it's the regression of the 3-point shooting. It's hot and cold, but it's tough to watch Danny Green and not see a guy who might be a little bit washed. Like his legs are just not there, like at all. So, you know, when I watch him chase guys off screens and do those kinds of things, it's clearly something is missing there. So hopefully they get to, you know, to some older version of Danny Green here soon. But if that's the guy they're going to get into the playoffs with, I don't know, man. Like they should probably look into how they can upgrade that position a little bit. So yeah, those are the main 2 takeaways. Just the other thing was with, I mean, Joel did his thing in the first quarter, right? So he had 16 points. He got to line like 100 times. Like Atlanta had no answers. But I mean, the second quarter, all Atlanta did was they just packed the paint. I mean, they were throwing like 3 guys on Joel even before the ball was in half court. So it made it really hard for Embiid to do anything else other than pass the ball. And then he tried to face up and then drive, and it resulted in a couple of turnovers. But if you don't have shooters on the court, man, like it's just not going to happen. And that's what happened in the second quarter. And then it was like make him pass at all costs. So yeah, I mean, it was not going to happen tonight at all.
I think something that's important to talk about too is we can trash on Danny Green, but I think it's important to trash on Mike Scott too. I mean, listen. If we're honest here, Mike Scott went 1 for 7. He also went 0 for 5 for 3. And we talked about this a little bit during the watch party in general, but I don't remember the last time Mike Scott was good for this team.
he hasn't been good for about 1.5 to 2 years now, and he's taken up cap money, cap space, and he's adding no offensive value to your team. So you watch a guy like Isaiah Joe tonight. I mean, he's going to make a million mistakes, but you watch that shot. It's straight, it's smooth. He's playing with confidence. Give the kid a chance. Give him some of those Scott's minutes and see what he has, man. Because the guy's playing well. Like offensively, he's been shooting the ball really well these last 2 nights. So I would be very inclined to go that route. But Scott has that bond with Doc, and Doc's really trying to get him going. I just don't see it, man. I don't see it with Scott. I think his time here is up, and they should look at a different way, different turn.
Let's think about this. You have $20 million in cap space going to Danny Green and Mike Scott together. $15 million going to Danny Green, $5 million to Mike Scott. I mean, it's nice to think of the fact that, like, realistically, like, neither of them are going to be around much longer. I mean, I'm pretty sure both of them are on expiring contracts, if I'm not mistaken. Mike Scott is going to be an undrafted free, or yeah, yep. And so so they're both going to be gone by this time next year. But I think that's like why you kind of need to capitalize on them right now with like the fact that Danny Green's making $15 million. If this is going to be the consistent Danny Green you get throughout the season, I think you need to find a way to get him off the books. But
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, that will be a time for that. I think we're gonna, when we get close to the trade deadline, I am pretty sure Morey's gonna look at this roster and say, "Listen, we have a chance to make some noise in the playoffs. One of these guys may have to go, or both of them, as like a salary match or whatever." So, yeah.
And I do want to be clear. None of us on this channel want to see that, and none of us are here to be like knee-jerk reaction type people. But this to me isn't necessarily a knee-jerk reaction. This is something that you've seen for the past 2 years with both of these guys. You've seen both regression in Danny Green when he was with the Lakers, I guess not the year before that, but Danny Green with the Lakers obviously was not shooting as well as he had been in years past. And same with Mike Scott. Mike Scott hasn't been shooting well for the past 2 years either. So it's just this isn't just a knee-jerk reaction. This is after seeing a consistent basis of regression from these two players.
Yep.
So, Tiago, where are you at with Tyrese Maxey? Should he start? Should he come off the bench? What is your take with that? Like, you look at Danny Green's just regression in the catch and shoot, 34% from 3 on the season. It's going to go down after tonight big time. But where are you at? Like, if Danny Green's not giving you solid defense or catch and shoot threes, why can't you throw Tyrese Maxey in there? Because he's going to give you – he can defend multiple positions. He can defend the pick and roll. Like, where are you with that? Because that's a big topic of conversation.
Yeah, I want to make it clear because there's a fraction of the Sixers fan base who wants Maxey to start over Ben Simmons. And I think those people need help.
I'm not saying that.
They need help and need to go outside and breathe some fresh air because when you get down to that point, you just lost the plot, man. You just lost the plot. I think that there is a case to be made about Shake Milton starting over Tyrese Maxey. I think that's something they should explore very, very closely. I think that Milton gives you that shooting element that you need around Ben and Joel. I think Maxey's shot, it's coming around. You guys see it. It's looked much better in the last couple of weeks, but teams are going to play off of him until he shows the consistency from the outside, which he has not yet, which is fine. It's part of his growth curve here. But I think Shake has done a really good job so far this season offensively. Again, we talked about this in the past, working off the pick and roll, spotting shooters on the corners, and playing really good defense. So there's enough evidence out there. I don't have the lineup numbers in front of me, but the Sixers lineup with Shake over Green is one of the top offensive lineups in basketball against small sample size. But there's evidence there that the lineup works. So if they do decide to move away from Danny Green as a starter, the name that comes to mind is Shake. And I think that there is a path for him to get in that starting lineup and I think it makes sense in the regular season. Like, give Danny Green time to rest his legs, man. Like, give him 15, 20 minutes a night. Have Shake as a young guy who you want to see what he has. Go out there and play, man. Like, there's no reason why Danny Green should be playing 30 minutes a game when everybody's back playing. So I would look to go that path.
All right, let's go into player of the game. Justin, who is your player of the game today?
I mean, I'm going to say Tyrese Maxey. I don't think there really is a player of the game necessarily for the Sixers. If you want a player of the game really for this game, it's going to be Trae Young. Trae Young ultimately had a pretty good game besides the first quarter. But player of the game for the Sixers, I would say, you know what? Actually, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to go Isaiah Joe.
Nice. I was going with Joe.
6 for 9 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3. Like, had a good game. But I mean, realistically, I don't think you can have a good game at all in like team wise when you score 94 points and play terrible defense and just bad.
I was gonna go Isaiah Joe just to piggyback off of you. Like, this is a guy who was shooting 3 of 16 from 3 the first part of the season until tonight. So it was really good to see this guy find his stroke again. 4 of 7 from 3 tonight, 18 points in 28 minutes. What does it mean? Probably nothing. But Isaiah Joe, gonna go Isaiah Joe. What about you, Tiago?
Yeah, I would go Joe too, and I would be interested to ask Doc, why does he feel like he needs to play Dakota Mathias over Joe? Like, Dakota had 39 minutes, which is insane. I mean, when you play Dakota Mathias 39 minutes, you might as well just turn off the TV. 28 minutes for Joe. So I don't understand like what he sees in Mathias. I mean, he's obviously can shoot.
Catch and shoot.
I don't think it's anything that he sees necessarily. I think it's more just like, okay, Dakota's been showing more consistent offense than anybody else on the wing as of right now. So I think he's just going with the guy who's been a little bit hot. I did want to share this, though. Doc Rivers on positives from we got out of there healthy, and we probably get to see the second half of the Alabama game. So,
man.
I gotta love that.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
That should just show the way Doc sees this and how he's obviously still unhappy with like the fact that they even have to play these games. So that's what you gotta love that on Doc. He's got that sense of humor. He understands how the fans feel, and he feels the same way. He gets it.
I will say this though, like I wish he took a harder stance on what Adam Silver's making the Sixers do, because it's a flat out embarrassment what the Sixers do. The Sixers had to dress an injured player last game to field enough players to play.
Speaking of harder stance, hold on.
There's somebody. There's another quote.
Tiago, I went on a little spiel during our pregame about this.
Did you really? Yeah.
Doc Rivers was adamant that he and his team were not happy about having to play on Saturday. Says he really only had 7 guys. We don't really understand why we played that game, but listen, I'm just the coach, Rivers said. So, I mean,
but here's the thing, like it should not be on the players to make the decisions, right? So when Ben Simmons says there's no way in hell I'm playing because I don't want to risk my health over this, it looks bad on Ben. It doesn't look bad on Adam Silver. People are out here questioning Ben, his commitment to the team, his commitment as a member of the organization. And Doc should stand up. And I'm not saying Doc is not doing that, because I think Doc is a guy, as a player's coach, but Doc should take a stand and push back on what the league is doing, because the fact of the matter is, like, this decision is absolutely asinine. Like, having the players make these decisions is absolutely absurd. So I do wish he pushed back a little bit on the league just to protect his players a little bit more, because it looks bad on Ben when he doesn't play. And Ben has all the right not to do that, because it's a freaking pandemic, man. Like,
it's only going to get worse, because they have 3 more back-to-backs over the next 3 weeks. So they're going to be living through this hell for the foreseeable future with a limited roster, if this is the way it goes, or if there's no pause of the season. Let's go into team grades. Justin, how would you grade tonight's performance?
To get the Russian alphabet out.
So let me ask you this question. I'm going to ask you a question to the questioners today. Are we grading the league's performance, or are we grading the Sixers' performance? Because I think the league is performing terribly, which is making the Sixers perform terribly.
Right.
So I'm going to give the Sixers organization a solid C-. because they're being smart and making up injuries for Ben Simmons, so he doesn't have to be hurt out on. So he doesn't have to hurt himself out on the court. Realistically, I don't even know how to grade this game. It's like Dives has been saying this whole entire game. There's nothing to take from these games. Like, I can't sit here and say, like, oh my God, this is a C, and like give the legitimate reasons why this is a C, and like they played like shit because they don't have the good players out on the court.
Yeah,
this is a straight F, and I'm going to give an F to the NBA as well, because it is pathetic that the Sixers are having to go through with this. There's no accountability on the NBA. What was that? Chris Haynes came out with the tweet that Ben Simmons is getting fined. The NBA should be fined for putting the Sixers through this dreck of having nobody on the roster. The Sixers are being targeted by the NBA. It's pathetic, and that there's nowhere else you can look at it other than that. And here we are. It just felt like yesterday we were talking about how great the Sixers second unit looked, how the spacing with Seth Curry and Ben and Joel looked, and here we are. Just a short week later, now we're dealing with the COVID-19 and its consequences, and it's just brutal. It's brutal to watch, and that I'm giving it an F because the NBA has shat on the Sixers, and it is causing them to lose. It's risking injury. It's risking many more things. And I'm calling you out, Adam Silver, because this is pathetic.
Guys, if you want Adam Silver to see this, by the way, make sure you like, share, subscribe.
Tweet the NBA.
At the NBA, this video, maybe we can get them to see this.
Yeah, well said, Chris. And in the meantime, Boston's getting games postponed. Dallas is getting game postponed. Miami's getting games postponed.
I can't even tell you how pissed off I was yesterday when I saw that they postponed a game. Like, literally, like, it pisses me off. Like, dude,
this is what I mean, man. You gotta speak up. You gotta speak up. I'm glad that Doc, is taking the stand, but you gotta speak up, man. This isn't right, and this is taking away the Sixers momentum from early in the year and risking the health of players. The most important thing. So.
Yeah, that Tyrese Maxey. Like, could you imagine if something were to happen? Like, we were talking about it during the second half. Like, just get him off the court. Like, there's no point in playing right now. Get him off the court. Keep him fresh. Do not get hurt during this meaningless crap basketball game. So let's go on to plugs. Justin, what do you want to plug?
If you want, go follow me on Twitter at J_Persichetti. I promise I'm normally a lot more upbeat than this. I'm normally a lot more excited than this, but this game just took the energy out of me. If you want to go follow good NBA content, good NFL, MLB, you name it, anything you like, I like, if you're watching this right now. So go follow me there. Go follow the Painted Lines on Twitter and Instagram. I help out with those social media accounts a good amount. I'm not going to steal too much from Chris today. I always do that, but go follow, go subscribe.
What about you, Tiago?
Yeah. I put out a piece on why I think Embiid is the defensive player of the year. So check that out. There's a lot of good stats there that back up the claim. Sorry, Rudy Gobert, your time is up. And then Zach LaVine, man, like Zach LaVine is really coming around as a big time player, man. If you guys want to understand what has changed about his game, make sure to check that out.
Awesome. So thank you everybody here for watching. Please be sure to like, please be sure to comment and subscribe like you guys have been commenting. Thank you everybody here. You guys are the best. Tomorrow afternoon, we will have a Flyered Up podcast previewing the Flyers season as they get ready to take on the Penguins on Wednesday night. Then we've got multiple shows, things that I can't announce yet, but then I just want to say thank you, everyone here, for subscribing. Make sure you follow my man Tiago on Twitter at TScabby. Follow my man Justin at J_Persichetti. For myself, for Justin, for Tiago. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay awesome.
Peace.